Running to the checker flag, running through the red light. 12 can be gun and won't pull over till I'm dead right. Riding to the sunrise, can't none by no bedtime. Ain't gon' get no bitches riding with me, let the head fly. Better know. From West Side Atlanta on the best style, all the way to Crenshaw. I'ma have the mind, nigga better know. Big shit, poppin' ain't no little shit. Dropping bags is a lot to you, to me a little bit. Let them ride Chevy 40 cal in my lap. Real dope boys in the trap. The big yacht, ballin' like a big shot. Niggas on my dick, make me room for your bitch, gotta let them know. I don't turn wrestle, I don't lip box. Solitaires, all I do is big rocks. I came from Dilly Rock, all the way to Hitchut. On the throne, bitch ain't when I'm on, she can kick rock, let her know. My foot up on the gas, I'm blowing money fast, let her know. I'm on these haters' ass, I know these niggas mad, gotta let them know. Big dog, all we get it bread, I ain't never scared. Big flex on a nigga head, what I'm standing on. Business, big chick, we done did that. Push pushing weird bad, better give me respect and some more. Atlanta know for I would book a show for $1,000 or so. I was selling grand right on camera till hammers go. Lane speaking to me what you need a camera for. Center hitter hitting hoes on centerfold, better know. They call it ballin', we just call it living. They say you live and die by your decision. Well, I'ma push it to the limit, never mind the consequences. Interfering, nigga, I'ma handle business, better let them know. On another level, my SS I put together, hit the pedal, do 200 everywhere I go. Better than I stay fly, just to show the day now. On the throne, bitch ain't one I'm on, she can kick rock, let her know.
Mic check. Look, I'm late. I know people got other things to do. I'm only going to stay here for a few minutes if y'all want to have a conversation, or I can sit here and DJ. My camera messed up. I mean, I'm sitting here on my built-in camera versus this camera I didn't pay all this money for that y'all going to hear about me on the news. I promise you. Mic check. I hope they didn't hear that. Mic check. Can y'all hear me? Look at this. Look at my camera, my big time camera. This is what I'm getting out of it. Check it out. Look at it. Look at that. Look at that picture. That's a horrible picture. Let me see if it converts over to that. I'm going to look at it on the monitor. Yeah, we paid too much money for this equipment to be looking like this. Let me just make sure. Let me go. Yeah, okay, there it is. Yeah, look at that shit. Look at that. We came too far to be right here with it. Look at that. Look at that. Look, hold on one second. Let me show you something. That's another camera right there. That's the camera that I have showing down. That's showing my monitor. But now let me show you something that I got here. This camera right here looking crazy, and we didn't spend all that money on this camera. You feel me? My built-in is this. The built-in looking better. How do I spend that much money on a camera and I'm getting that raggedy ass look there? I'm not feeling that. Let's wait for some more folks to get in. I know I'm late. Better late than never, right? Roz says the camera got you looking like a white man. Is that right? Well, shit. Maybe what I'll do, Roz, is put my white man camera on, since that's what it is. I'm going to use your words. Put my white man camera on so these folks will listen to me. You know how they think you know how it is, Roz. White man tell them something, they stand in line. White man get on the radio and talk to them right in their face and tell them anything. He'll tell them all the shit that's going wrong in the world and won't tell them nothing right that he's done for them. And they'll stand right in line and eat it all the way up. They'll eat it all the way up. So maybe I should come up and cut my white man camera on, right? Is that what it's called, Roz? Twin says you have more excuses than my 5 baby mamas. Just you saying that, Twin, is a damn excuse. More excuses than my 5 baby mamas. You cannot put me in the same category as anybody that got 5. No matter what I do on this program, it can never equate to 5 baby mamas. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You don't know how crazy that shit sound. I'm just saying. You have no idea how freaking crazy. Look, man, I feel sorry for you. Because I'll be honest with you, bro. I don't know how any man could tolerate 5 baby mamas. 5 baby mamas, bro. Are you serious? I mean, that's got to be worse than having 5 side chicks. Think about that. Side chicks can be fun, right? You got some permanent, can't never get away, can't clock out and spend no. You got some permanent shit going on with that. 5 baby mamas. Shit. Shit. I mean, I couldn't even imagine it. I couldn't even imagine it, bro. I hear brothers ready to jump off the ledge because they got one crazy ass baby mama. They have one that go hard in the paint to make life miserable for them. How do you have five? I guess they all. I guess they all cool. I guess they all cool. What up, Huddy Hud? Huddy Hud in the building. What up, though? What up? I don't know, man. I ain't got nothing today, bro. I came in here and cut the power on, and my camera was messed up. I didn't write down anything. I have zero conversation for y'all today. If y'all want to go do something, play in the sun, go feel some kind of way, go to Surf Cincinnati somewhere, go do something with yourself other than be here with me today. I truly understand. Even if you want to go listen to somebody else, I probably ain't got shit for you today. I'm just going to be honest with you. Probably ain't got shit for you today. If I talk, it's just going to be us talking. Should we, how many, I wonder how many men are in the building right now versus women. I wonder how many men we have versus women right now. Because I sure would like to have a conversation with one or the other, a solid conversation with one or the other. I sure would like to. I seen a video yesterday that made me say, you know, I want to do a show on that. And it was this guy that went on this video and he was showing all these clips of these young ladies twerking and standing on tables, standing on top of cars and doing a bunch of wild shit. And he was like, bro, I don't know what our women have come to. And I said, that ain't fair. It's not fair to sit back and watch girls or ladies, young ladies, act a fool out here in these streets. And we sit back and be like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? What's going on with our women? What's going on with our women is that's the type of shit y'all like. That's the type of shit y'all ask for in these little young girls these days. You understand that culture? Y'all accept y'all accept girls that, I ain't trying to be nasty or rude, or you know, if you tat it up and all that, so be it. I ain't tripping, but y'all want women that look crazy out here with shit all on their face and other motherfuckers' names all tattooed on their body and shit that only they understand on the body. And y'all want all that shit. So don't get mad at women when they acting out the way they think men want them. Think about it. Think about how hard, fellas. This is our conversation. Ladies, y'all can exit. We'll holler at y'all. We'll holler. Fellas, think of this, man. Do you know how hard it must be to be a young lady these days? I know we want to complain and bitch about how hard it is to be a man, how hard it is to be a man, and they don't appreciate us and this and this and that. Slow down, Tonto. Let me ask you a question. Have you thought once how tough it is to be a little young lady out here these days? Have you thought about the pressures and the shit they have to go through to fit in and feel accepted and feel like what they see? Women are different than men when it come down to it. When it come down to acceptability and being accepted, you know, in a culture and being accepted by their peers, women are different than dudes in a whole lot of ways, man. Ladies do a lot. I mean, just when they wake up every day and how they get ready for the day. Men don't do that shit, okay? Women take a lot of time to get ready. And they claim, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of blowback for this. Maybe I deserve it. I don't know. But y'all claim, women always claim that they getting dressed up and they putting on hottie dresses and they doing all this glamour shit. Y'all always claim that you're doing it for yourself. That's a lie. Not solely for yourself. You trying to get chose. You trying to look cute. You want your nails done. Yeah, you think they look good and you think they cute. They about this long, got drawings and shit all on them, and then you got a diamond on the end of it. You do all that shit because you think it's cute, but yes, you're trying to come outside and impress people. Yeah, you could easily say, well, I'm just trying to impress myself. I'm just trying to feel good. Man, you feeling good. What makes you feel good is other people looking at you and saying, oh man, yeah, she is dope. She nice. You don't come outside thinking you look dope and you don't care what anybody else say. Stop. You do care. Y'all care more than men. Y'all do care. Now, even the girls that come outside with the bonnets on and all that old shit, they didn't got to a point where now they making these little jazzy up ass bonnets. So they do care too. I was at the airport coming home. Little girls was lined up over there sitting down with raggedy ass suitcases and shit. And then they had their bonnets on. You got a Louis Vuitton bonnet. So that it looked Louis Vuitton bonnet. And then you got this 1964 raggedy ass luggage. Stop. We so backwards with shit. It's just crazy. I'm sorry. This is not the topic. I thought I'd just talk until some people got here. But I mean, fellas, think about how hard. I know it's hard for y'all. Look, I didn't think this way. I didn't think this way till I had daughters. I'm going to tell you a secret, fellas. And this is for men. This is for grown men out here. I ain't talking about no boys or guys who had 3 or 4 baby mamas, 5 baby mamas, or whatever. I'm talking to the real men who have been in their kids' life. If you have raised a daughter, you understand. You have a different perspective of how women are. Women. You have a different perspective of how women perceive things, how they process things. Only if you've been in this woman, your daughter's lives. If you wake up, feed them. If you take care of your daughter, if you wake up every day and you then took them to the mall, you didn't shop with them since they were in the carriage and all, you've been with your family, your daughters, your whole life. Only these men will understand how different women are from men. Now, I ain't talking about dudes that's been dating girls. They hold, I got 5 babies. I got 5 girls. I got some shorties over here. I got this. Now, y'all get the made up, already come outside, ready to act in front and act crazy and look she faking and doing all that shit with you. That's the version of a woman that you get. You know, the fellas who know what a real woman is? A man knows who a real woman is when it's a commitment there. They wake up together. They live together. They see each other he see her without makeup, without her hairpiece, her wigs, all that old shit. That's when a man really knows what a woman is, when he's waking up to one. All right? Not when y'all meeting, going out on dates and shit. That's not the and ladies, that's not the man you're going to take home. That's not the man you're getting. That's the dude that that's the guy that's putting on the fresh clothes and shit. He probably spent a portion of his rent money. You know what I'm saying? Portion of his rent money to look nice that night because he gonna hit. He want to hit. He gonna do whatever he got to do and say whatever he got to say to impress you enough to want to hit. So you'll never get that real man until after you hit. You ever notice that shit start falling apart once he hit once or twice? Shit. They gonna cancel my ass. The fella's gonna hang up. They gonna try to get this shit blocked. And then the lady's gonna be like, oh man, I don't want to hear this shit. They don't want to hear no truth. But you got to understand, most relationships go bad once he tired. Once he didn't had enough. Once he did what he needed to do. Or maybe once you didn't soaked up a little bit of bill money out of him, and now they're getting on your nerve every 15 minutes or every little bitty petty ass thing. That's how it go. Nobody really wants to meet Miss Right. Y'all want to meet Miss Right now. I want to hit. You're not look, ladies, these guys are not looking for wives. It's too many really good women out here for a man to say, I can't find no good woman. It's too many good ones out here for a man to say, I can't find a wife. That's crazy to me. They done threw 5 or 6 wives away and didn't even realize it. Y'all didn't heard me say that before. There's a man that y'all know was a guy. You really liked him, ladies. He was a catch, but he ain't want no part. He ain't want to be bothered with you past, the hitting and the quitting. He ain't really, as long as you was still there to be fun and have fun with him, he was cool. But when you start talking that one shit, here's how you can determine when a man tired of you, ladies. Start talking about some shit do and you a little short. Let me say it slow. Let me take a drink. This is clear up there. Listen. Tell a man that you're a little short and some shit is coming up. Like something is due, a bill is due, and you're a little short. Tell him you need tires for your car. Ask him if he'll take you over to the tire place. If he make you pay for him, he finished. You never had him. Never. Never. I ain't talking about going out to eat. That's an easy fade. That's an easy fade. Men go out to eat. It's expected. Make him do something, ladies, that he would have to do for you if y'all were in a full-blown committed relationship. That's when you determine if he's serious about you. Not early. Don't burn that early card. Fellas, they having a fit about me right now. Don't burn the commitment card play too early. Donna said, what? Right, Wyatt, but I know women who just want to hit. Then you get what you expect. I mean, shit. Then y'all can play kickball. Keep on hitting one another. Tag, freeze, tag, whatever. You hit, all that. Keep on. Just don't categorize that man as an ain't shit ass dude. Don't categorize a man who you sitting back just lusting after a bad dude. Now, I mean, I'm sure you probably don't categorize that man as a bad dude when you do that, but I'm just saying, don't put him in that category. But women always, I hear more women say, I can't find a good man. First thing come to my mind, and I'm sorry, ladies, and I know you can call me nasty or, disrespectful or whatever. The first thing I think of when I hear a woman say that is if you're going out on a date with a man, you probably letting him get to the thing a little too soon. You know what I'm saying? Because we're hunters. So part of the excitement is the chase. You ever heard the old story of boy chase girl and then girl chase boy? That usually happens after the man then got an opportunity to do what he needs to do with that woman. She gave in. The guard is dropped. And the harder you make it, the more action-packed it is for that man. But the harder you make it, it could be something like when you start saying harder, Wyatt, what do you mean? I'm saying things like when you do things, when you hint to him, yeah, we gonna do it, but I usually wait about 3 weeks. You didn't put it on the forecast for him. He know what it is. Okay, about 3 weeks. So I got to act like this for 3 weeks. I got to be this kind of way for 3 weeks. After 3 weeks, shit, I'm either gonna act funny because I didn't get a chance to hit, or I'm gonna act funny because I did. Let me stop. Am I giving away too much, fellas? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What up, Big Don out in LA? That's my Compton pass. He said, all men are bad men when you can't control them. Ladies got it twisted. Yeah, well, that goes back to the traditional woman. A traditional woman would never think that a man is a controlling man. A traditional woman would understand the things that a man has to control in order to be considered a man. A woman, I think it's a trade-off. I think men control things and women control things. I think that's what makes the nucleus. That's what makes it such a good situation. That's how I know. Look, listen, man. How do I start? How do I say this? I don't know how to say this. I don't have much respect for women that go out to certain places dressed a certain way. And the reason why I say that is because women that sell sexuality end up with guys that like, that are after sex, sex. And it's almost like, how could you be mad at somebody for giving them what you display? I mean, like you're basically displaying yourself by dressing a certain way. And here's the sad part. Remember, we were talking earlier, I said something about why are we getting mad at our young ladies because they're acting a certain way out here in the streets? They're acting that way because that's how they feel like they have to act in order to get a man. That's just common sense to me. I don't know any of these young ladies running around out in these streets and on YouTube and on these IGs and all that old shit and taking all these pictures and popping their ass on the camera and all that old shit. I don't think anybody, I don't think any of them are looking for Mr. Goodbar. I just don't think that. I think they looking for the dude that just want to be, that go after girls like that. And I don't know if these ladies know or these young ladies know, but you're kind of asking for the disrespectful behavior by selling disrespect of yourself. What am I missing here? I mean, what am I not understanding? You're taking it, I mean, take it from me. I'm a guy who raised, of course, with my wife, two daughters. And I definitely had those conversations of, listen, how you think you're going to be treated with respect and you don't even respect yourself? What man or what polite young man or some dude that can give you y'all can get a great living together one day and create a family with one another, all that old shit. Like, what makes you think that guy is sitting out in the winds waiting for you if you're doing TikTok videos popping your ass all up in the sky? Every dude that like ass popping is gonna be sitting there getting in your DM and talking to you and don't try to be sweet. I don't know. Let me go to the phone lines, man. It's gonna be a short show because I ain't got nothing. Y'all can tell by what I'm talking about. Let's see if it get a little bit more exciting. Hold on. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hey man, how you doing, brother? This CK, you know what I'm saying?
Damn, CK, you sounding like you in the Temptations or some old shit. You sound different today.
Hey, them multiple personalities be kicking in sometimes. You know how it goes.
Damn,
you know
Eddie Ruffin. Sometimes I feel. Damn, what's up with you though, CK?
Melvin. I got you. But I like what you're saying, man. I like what you're saying about how you said that the women need to stop twerking that booty on the net. You said it needs to cease or it needs to continue. The shaking of the ass.
I don't care what they do. Just if you're gonna go out there and do that type of shit, don't turn around and say ain't no good men out here. I don't care what they do. Just don't be out here asking for dusties and disrespectful men and going up on and displaying yourself. And then when you get what you asking for, don't sit out here and holler and bitch and complain about ain't no good dudes out here. I seen a video where these girls was down at spring break or something like that, talking about I don't need no man. My daddy gonna take care of me my whole life. No, he ain't. But go ahead.
No, he ain't. No, he ain't. Like you said, he taking care of you now. Like you said, you must find the man. That's not his responsibility to take care of you the rest of your life. No. And I feel what you said about ask them to do something important. I think that could work on both sides too. I think men should do that also.
What you mean by that? You got to be more specific when you say it should go on both sides. Because I agree, but I want to hear your version.
When you said that ask them to help you with something important. And don't use your important card too early.
Yeah.
And I think that's how we fell in love with our ladies, our wives, because they did something that the average woman wouldn't do. I think that's what made us fall in love. Like, damn, she really digs me. Man, there's people that I know that care about me that wouldn't have did that. That's what makes you make her your wife. Okay. So it wasn't just the piece. It was other endeavors too, because at that time when you were young, you were still struggling and stuff, right? Or were you established?
I was young and I was struggling.
See what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things that she did for you personally. You know what I mean? That you felt was significant that another woman couldn't, that wouldn't even be interested in doing that. But she cared about, your well-being.
Well, I think the reason why is because what you have to be worth her wanting to make those sacrifices for. You know what I'm saying, CK? Like women are definitely going to make more sacrifices. Let me.
It was your heart, sir. She seen, oh, he one of them cats that don't want to sit out there and sell drugs. She probably seen that at the first date.
No, my
he
wife,
might be, you know what I'm saying? He might not be a street guy. I want a business guy.
My wife was scared.
Okay.
My wife was a little on the fence about which way I was gonna go in life. I had to set the tone and say, hey,
you were the same way, or you already was at the time at your first date, you already knew you was going down the right track, or you was uncertain yourself?
Nah, I pretty much knew that I wasn't gonna be in the streets, but I know that I had to do what I had to do to get some things situated so I wouldn't have to be in the street. You know what I'm saying? Like I think a lot of guys have done that. I think a lot of us pinch off for certain things to be able to get our life right so we can make better decisions. You know, if you know how to do
how was that intellect value at that time? Like intellectually, how high was you? Like high IQ where y'all would be impressed with each other intelligence? Like, damn, she's smart as hell. Or, he's smart as hell. Was you on that level like type shit?
Nah, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. This is gonna sound bad. I hope my wife not listening, and I hope she never watches this episode. I didn't have to marry a brain surgeon or a rocket scientist. You see what I'm saying? That's not what I necessarily needed. I needed a woman that was just about women being feminine and being, being clean and being structured, and had morals and principles. I didn't have to have the smartest girl in the class or the smart. I didn't. This
your mind frame at the time as a young man, at that young?
Yeah,
you thinking like that?
Yeah, because look, man, let me tell you, I like girls that wasn't shit. Like I was fortunate, CK, to have a couple girlfriends, like girls I grew up with that were friends, not girlfriends like that.
So like your homie.
Yeah, my girl, my sandbox. I had a couple in my life, man, that like Kelly Rogers, like she kept me away from some of the girls that would have been all the way bad for me. You feel me? Like she would tell me like, now, hey, Rand, look, she worked with one of the girls, and this girl was so fine, and I had to have her. And I would come pick her up from work. They worked at the same little clothing store. I would come pick her up. My sister Kelly would be there. She was like the assistant manager or something like that. And Kelly would pull me off to the side and be like, hey, Rand, that ain't the one. And I'd be like, shit, yes, it is. You see her, she had the salt and pepper, all push it ass haircut. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh, yes, this is it. Shit. I had a couple of them. And they, not at the same time, but, I had a couple of the fine ones and look good and this and this and that. And they just wasn't right. I had one that had a child.
When at 16, you already had them at 16?
I've been pulling them since the 3rd grade, CK. You better
get I got you. Player from the Himalayas. I got you.
No, I'm just tripping. I had one. This is how crazy I was. Y'all, I promise I'm gonna get up off this shit. I just gotta tell CK so he won't.
It's good content though. You gotta admit, this is good content. This is what they want on the internet. Give them what they want.
I don't think people really care about what we talking about, but it's all good. Sometimes I just want to have a conversation with a dude. All right. I just want to have this conversation and we just kick it like good fellas. You feel me? Man, I had one little chick, and I hadn't met my wife at all. This chick, now y'all, I already got to tell y'all how she was. I'll tell you how she was by where she lived. She had a child. All right. She lived in Avondale. I would take a bootleg over to her crib. We would kick it. She lived with her mother, but they lived in a 2-family house over in Avondale. So she was, they smoke weed. I used to love them type of girls, bro. I used to love everything that was bad for me. You feel me? And I never really was the dude. I never was the dude that looked like street dude. I was always clean cut. I was always the dude that was kind of methodical in his thought process, and you can tell. You know what I'm saying? Like I never really was the dude that would, I would walk in the building and they'd be like, oh, here come that killer. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't never that.
Right.
So this girl was so bad for me. I took a liking to her son. See, what I'm saying to you, CK, a lot of dudes can relate to this. They can relate to what I'm saying because they've been there. They ain't been where I've been, because I'm about to tell y'all some shit that y'all gonna be like, oh, whoa, Wyatt, you was a lame for this. But this is the type of girl, Huddy Hud, not that Kelly. Huddy Hud, no. Kelly said, please don't even bring that up on here. Huddy Hud, go back. We got this. Huddy Hud, please stop. Don't do that. Because I remember. But anyway, this girl was everything wrong for me, brother. Like, I would go over her house. I'd take a bootleg over there, right? And spend time with her all day. They smoking weed. I never was a weed smoker. This happened one particular time. This is what made me finally just say, fuck this. I ain't about to do this with her. One night, I'm over there. I'm kicking it. I'm chilling. Now, we all kind of know each other from growing up and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand how it is to have buddies that do shit different than you. Because I got a lot of friends that steal and rob and, sold drugs and all that old shit. I didn't do that with them. But we were still cool. We would still hang. She had friends that had come through, just roll through her crib, and just, y'all know how it is over in the A. They'll slide, come to the side of the house, pull up in front of the house, and they'll come outside. Everybody start smoking weed and shit out in the car. You know what I'm saying? That's how the people do shit, right? I wasn't really built like that. I wasn't that type of dude. But she had a friend one time come through. Now I'm over there on some bootleg. Like, I came over in a bootleg. I'm spending some time. I'm kicking it with her, and she go outside, and she's smoking weed and all this old shit with a dude out in the car, bro, while I'm inside. Now I know that's lame shit. That's why it was my last time over there. But when you got girls that's willing to go outside, leave you in the house, go outside and kick it with another dude, smoke weed, smoke trees, and do all that old goofy shit with him while you in the house with her daughter, that ain't marriage material, bro. Nothing about her was marriage material. Nothing. And I knew it. You feel me? I knew it.
Right.
But there are guys who love chicks like that.
But how the fuck is marriage material even on your brain at that young age?
Because them type of girls right there that I was digging, that's how they were. And I know I didn't want nothing like that.
Okay, I got you.
See what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
So I had to say to myself, bro, I got to find a different environment. I got to find something different in my life, man. I got to find something that I'm not going to be. And look, bro, like there's no perfect man, there's no perfect woman. Okay, I was trying to find a needle in the haystack. I mean, let's be honest. I think every woman, and once they come to their senses, they discover I'm not gonna find a needle in the haystack either. There's no perfect man out there. Everybody,
but they perfect for you.
No, well, no. I mean, I'm saying this gently because
nobody's perfect, but I'm perfect with you. That's the song.
I'm saying
Jill Scott, one of them. Angie Stone, one of them.
What do you mean?
That's the name of the song. Nobody's perfect, but I'm perfect for you. You perfect for me. That's what the your spouse is. They saying, yeah, she's not perfect, but she's perfect for you. Yeah. You're not perfect, but you're perfect for your wife. That's what the song represents.
Okay. All right. Let's say that all of that is working and is doing what it's doing. But all I'm saying to you is, I think guys, we know if a woman is marriage material or not. We know.
Yes.
But I think in most cases, and I've said this before on this show, I just think that in most cases, we're not really ready. You got to understand, CK, man, I had buddies, man, getting girls pregnant at 14 and 15 years old.
Luckily, that was not us. That would life alter us forever, man.
I knew that shit wasn't right. I knew it wasn't right.
It was not right, man. We're too young. We're kids. We're babies, man.
Yeah, I mean, and all I was thinking of is the future. Like, man, like I just couldn't get into that.
But let me explain this to you, sir. I was listening to your show, and you have fans. Okay. You remember this? Last couple weeks ago, you had fans begging you to broaden your program, your platform, and all that, and they just didn't understand. You was trying to tell them, look, bro, I'm Wyatt. If I wanted to do that, I would do that. He acting like you don't have control. I was frustrated when he kept telling you, well, you need to do this. You trying to tell him, brother, I know what I need to do. He acting like he the producer. He created this show. No, Wyatt created it. So he's he's producing it the way he was, but it was frustrating listening to how he wanted you to go platinum, where you're trying to tell him, if I wanted to go platinum, brother, I could go platinum. I'm just doing what I want to do. I'm going at my pace. And I felt you, and I felt the power. Like I think you're dedicated in a different. Your energy is going somewhere else. I don't think you're into being the biggest internet podcast. But if you wanted that, I think you do have the talent to do it. But you're focused on other things right now, and I think that's what you were trying to explain to him. Your thoughts?
Okay, I think you explained it well. I think you're talking about Drop Squad 52 out in Cali.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. West Side.
Yeah, but I think yeah, no, you got it right. I think the thing is it's not that difficult to do. I mean, to get to spread the show around and do all of that. It's not hard to do that. I just think that you have to be mentally tough, and you have to be cut a certain way to handle the things that come with that. I've never been the guy that really wanted to be a superstar. You know what I'm saying? If you ever look at my history of dealing in groups and my histories in professional sports, I've always been the guy in the back. I've always been the guy that worked in the back. You know what I'm saying?
We're naturally born superstars. We can't help that. Even in the back, I'm the star. I'm Bill Belichick of this shit. Well, you see you in the boxing game, Cincinnati, your name ring bells.
Well, I mean, more so in Florida than it does in Cincinnati now because of the fighters that I manage. But, I look at it like this, man. I think I got to a certain point in life, CK, to be honest with you. I'm just having this conversation with you. I've gotten to a certain point in life, CK, where making money for myself is not as important as it is for I feel better if I make someone else a millionaire.
Like me.
You know what I'm saying? Like I feel better when someone follows the process and they become successful. You know what I mean?
But if you make me a millionaire, I'm coming back. I'm coming to give back.
Well, that's the purpose of it. That's the purpose.
Because you made me a millionaire. So I'm obligated to give you something. I can't just, he ain't do, because a lot of times you'll make me a millionaire and then I say, hey, Wyatt ain't do nothing. What he did, talk to me on the phone. That's what happens. Well, that's how we do as Americans.
Well, I remember the first year that we did Wyatt Live. And I used to give out a lot of advice. Financial advice and things of that nature. And I would always disclose, look, I'm not a financial planner. I'm not licensed. I don't do all of that type of stuff. And then a lot of people would reach out to me on the side, sidebar me and ask certain questions. And I remember telling people right here on the show, like the only thing that I'm looking for out of it is for you to be successful, and one day you can be a resource for me. You see what I'm saying? Like I never asked anybody for any money if they became, I would say that there's probably more people who have failed at trying to be entrepreneurs or doing their own thing that listen to the show. They've gone off and failed. There's some that have done really well, to be honest with you, but there's more that have failed because sometimes they just don't commit themselves the way that, the way what it takes. I got a guy right now, CK. I don't want to say his name because he hasn't given me permission to say his name, but he's a professional athlete, and him and his wife recently separated. I don't know if I think they're in the midst of a divorce right now, but he posted something on his social media page. And on his social media page, he said this. Now, I'm really close to this guy. I've lined him up. He's made a lot of money in the industry, okay? And he said to me, behind closed doors, some things that I can't tell you guys. But he did make a post on his page, on his social media. And he said, he was talking to the people. And he said, it feels good to have someone in my corner now, meaning his new woman, and she's not keeping score. And see, that go back to what I was talking about yesterday about some women don't really want to see men be successful. They just want them to be as far as they can reach them. Some women are intimidated by men that are successful because the threat of her not either being good enough or him going out and cheating and not not being the man that he's supposed to be, that intimidates some women. And, I just happened to see this guy with this new woman, and, I had a conversation with him on the phone the other day, and he was like, Wyatt, you and I had this conversation, man. I told you she used to always, try to keep track of me. What's going on? What you doing? And this and this and that. And then she would always remind me when we didn't have anything and how she was paying for shit and how she had the insurance in her name and she was keeping score. She had a scorecard. And, it came back where when he finally made his money and he finally got these big opportunities and went overseas and did some other things and got his bag, then their relationship didn't last. And it wasn't, I could tell you right now, it wasn't because he changed. It was because she was keeping score. And when somebody's keeping score, in most cases, when you score, y'all scored.
Acrimony.
You feel
Taraji P. Henson, keeping score. I paid for your college. I paid the rent for 6 years. I did all this. Now you telling me you get this money, now you want a divorce? Get the hell on. What is you doing? I'm the one held down the whole fucking relationship. Now you get your contract. Now you want to fucking leave? Get the fuck out of here. I'm keeping score too.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I paid your tuition in college.
Yeah, that's not, listen, let me just say this to you, CK, just from fella to fella, man to man. Any man that's keeping score, you got the wrong woman. You shouldn't keep score. You shouldn't say, well, I put tires on your car.
I paid for your daughter to go to medical school. Come on, how am I not gonna keep score?
I mean,
you know how expensive medical school is, sir?
Yes,
Do you know how much it costs to go to medical school, Mr. Wyatt? Answer the question.
I know exactly how much it costs.
Thank you. I gotta keep score.
But hold on, bro. How can I be keeping score with my wife when my daughter is my responsibility?
No, it's not my daughter. I'm saying I have a girlfriend and I'm putting her daughter through medical school, and you telling me not to keep score. It's not my daughter. It's her daughter.
Well, no. Number one, I don't know. Okay, you're creating something that I don't know any man that's paying.
No, you just saying, why wouldn't a man keep score? If you're doing that as a man, a responsible, we're in a relationship, and I'm paying for your daughter to go to medical school, I should keep score. You're telling me it's not fair for me not to keep score if I'm putting that kind of money out here, sir. You said you know exactly how much it costs.
CK, you're writing a soap opera. I'm talking about some real shit.
And I'm telling you real shit. If a man, so you telling me a man has never met a woman and put her daughter through medical school? This is real shit.
I'm not saying.
I'm saying your life is your life. I'm just saying in that scenario, you just said keeping score is not. I'm giving you a scenario where a man should keep score.
No,
it's not making nothing up.
I'm telling you, you're wrong. I'm telling you, you're wrong if you keeping score with a woman. You're wrong. That's not the right woman for you. A man don't keep score of the shit that he do for a woman.
So you're not caring if you get so a woman that's not your daughter and you put her through medical school, but you was in love and you feel that as soon as she get her money, she want a divorce. You're not going to feel like, damn, you played me the whole time. You just with me for me to get your daughter through law school, through medical. You're not going to feel that way as a man?
No, CK. No, because what I do for a child has nothing to do. Look, first of all, this is a really bad example, okay? Because you got to be in a position to not even care about money. That's bad. Y'all know what I mean. Not care about money. Money is not a thing if you are sitting back sending a child that's not really yours to medical school because you're in with this chick that you just messing with. That's not
your woman that you care about. It's not a woman you just messing with. Bruh, I care about this woman.
Not today. You fucking with my head. Not today. All I'm saying to you, CK, before I start feeling a certain way is if this dude is sending his girlfriend's daughter off to school,
his wife daughter, put it like that,
see,
his wife daughter, and she get a divorce after she goes through medical school.
But what you
you're not
did
going to
for
want
that
to keep score.
daughter has nothing to do with that woman. Don't you get that?
I got you. I see what you're saying.
Do, like,
you say I'm doing it for the daughter. I'm not doing it for the wife.
Okay, let's say, for instance, let me paint the picture let me just try to make it make sense, CK, because this shit is getting crazy. If you meet a woman who has a 6-month-old little daughter, okay, you meet her, and this girl has been in your life for 18 years, and she ended up going to Ohio State to go to undergrad school, okay?
Yes, sir.
And y'all have been a family for 18, 19 years. That little girl is not just some old random ass your girlfriend, your wife's baby. That is probably your daughter at this point.
Right.
You love her as she's your own. So how could you possibly keep score of what you do for a kid like that? Now, if you met a woman and she got a senior in high school, and all of a sudden she want to go to the University of Cincinnati, and you start paying the tab for some little girl that you only been knowing for 6 months, then you deserve all the shit that they gonna drag your ass through, because they probably using you like a do-boy. Okay, you don't know her like that to be paying and, doing all that stuff. So you're putting yourself in a position where you would have to keep score. Like
I admit defeat. You got me. You changed my belief. I did believe that you should keep score, but the way you broke it down so eloquently, yes, I lost.
I don't understand any man who keeps score when it come down to, bruh. I just don't understand how guys could sit back and keep score of what they doing for their woman. That's just the shit I don't.
Yeah, you made me see because if I'm paying for a medical school, I'm not doing it for my wife. I'm doing it for my daughter. You're right. 1000%. So as a man, it is unmanly to keep score. I agree 1000%. But you see how you learn? A conversation can educate. It's not about always being right. Sometimes you're wrong. At this point, CK was wrong.
No,
Wyatt was right.
In most cases, CK, your ass is wrong.
Oh, you saying my whole intellect is wrong? Like you said I'm an ignorant person.
No, I was just playing with you, brother. I was just messing with you.
Okay, and I'm gonna just leave you with this. Thank you. I was disappointed in Michael Jordan, the greatest athlete I ever seen. What he did to that, what he did to that little white boy, I was devastated.
What happened? I think you said that yesterday.
I don't know what to do about my Jordans now.
What did he do? Tell that to me.
He sexually assaulted a little infant
kid,
like 3, 4, in front of the whole world, just grabbing his
you believe
I've seen it with my own eyes.
Bruh, let me just say something about how people, y'all, bro, do you know what world we live in right now, bro? Have you ever, let me ask you a question, CK. Have you ever heard this thing they have out called AI?
Allen Iverson, I watched them for 12 years, sir. I was a Philadelphia Eagles fan.
Huh?
So you saying he didn't do what? So you saying it was fake? So you said Jordan said it was fake?
No, he didn't say it was fake, bro. But there's this thing out here, this technology called AI, okay, and it just kind of converts things over and make things happen that don't really happen in this world. And I don't know anybody who would do such a harness act to a child in a crowded gym in front of everybody in the center of the floor of a gymnasium. I mean, who would?
No, they was at NASCAR, sir. He was just playing with the kid on the leg. He didn't. Yeah. Well, like you said, I hope it was Allen Iverson. I really do hope it was Allen Iverson, because if it was him, then I'll take it back. But if it is him and he has an explanation for what he did, there is no explanation. Sir. You're right. Allen Iverson is the only one that can save him out of this situation, sir. It's very bad. Because I'm just saying, so you just already fixated
what AI got. Now I ain't talking about that AI. You playing dumb today. Get the fuck off the phone, bro.
No. You said,
bro, I wasn't talking about Allen Iverson.
I'm saying AI. That's the only thing that can save him. If it is not AI,
I'll holler, man. We'll holler at you, bro.
I'm just saying.
You need to pop a couple of them, bro. We'll holler
at you, bro. I'm about to go to work and get that paper. You already know it's about to turn good for me. I got my therapy on. It's on. As long as I get my therapy, I ain't gonna get fired.
Don't count this session. I'm sending you your money back.
He said, don't count this, all right.
I'll let you, CK, man. I have fun. I was running. What? Bro. I guess sometimes we can have fun, but I ain't trying to have fun talking about some guys that's doing some child touching and shit. That ain't fun to me. You lost me. Yeah, I seen a video on like social media of I think what's his name? Michael Jordan was not touching a kid, but there was a ball or something coming in the back of this guy's shirt and he was catching it or something, and they was making it seem like it was just vulgar to me. I seen it and I'm like, who would do that in front of everybody like that? And I mean, it was so inappropriate and so obvious that it was fake to me that I never thought I would have to say something about it on the show. I never thought that it would even come up, to be honest with you. This nigga said Allen Iverson. Let me go back to the phone line. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Allen Iverson.
Oh, sis. Tracy.
Hell.
Why did he say that? I mean, CK banned.
Who has never heard of AI?
CK, you know you got to shift gears when you're dealing with CK. CK just earned himself a 24-hour ban. He can't call back for 24 hours on that one.
Oh my God, 24
The first
days.
in the history of Wyatt Live. Leave it up to CK. Will go into Wyatt Live, a Hall of Fame, as being the first caller blocked for 24 hours.
Okay.
That's horrible. What's up, sis? What's good, Tracy?
I just wanted to say to CK, but now he's gonna throw my whole train of thought off.
He'll do it, won't he? He'll do it.
Damn.
I know.
Okay.
Yo, imagine me listening. I had no comeback for half that shit. I was at least you could just shake your head in the background. Me, I had to talk to him. Go ahead, sis. What's on your mind?
I just want to say to BK, when you talk about tit for tat and taking notes and keeping score, I hate when people do that, albeit a man or a woman. Because number one, if you're a man doing it, whether you're married, whether you take on somebody's family, know your role. Like there's nothing worse than somebody running down an itemized list saying, I did this and I did that, especially if it's a husband, because it's like, God put you on this earth to be a provider. So what do you think you're supposed to do? You're supposed to provide and not keep score. You know, if you get with somebody, if you engage with somebody, if you've been with somebody for 15 years and you decide to put that kid in college, through college, or pay for their medical school, it's because you love that kid. Right. Some things we just do out of the kindness of our heart. You know, and it's no different for if a woman does it. I did this and I washed your clothes and I cooked and I cleaned this house and took care of this kid. That's what my role is, to be a helpmate. I don't understand when people keep score, because at the end of the day, you're supposed to be a team. But I might be preaching to the choir if you don't know.
I agree.
Maybe Allen Iverson was rolling up in there. I don't know.
I don't know.
And this ain't no shade or coming down on CK, but CK, you just got to look at it a little different way. If you make a conscious choice to do something, stand on your square and do it, and don't even keep score, because at the end of the day, you bless somebody. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with you, sis, but let me, this is going to be bad. Let me come in. I was going to say, let me come in on his defense, but what I'll do is I'll play devil's advocate. Okay. Instead. There's a lot of guys that feel like they have to keep score. You know why? Because the ladies keep score first. A lot of ladies start saying shit like, I did this for you. I did that for you. I hear it all the time. I hear ladies saying things. This is why yesterday I had a program. I don't know if you were here yesterday, but I mentioned, guys, stop moving in with these ladies, because that's the leverage they need. When you move in with a lady, the first thing she say when y'all fight, get out. That's a horrible thing for a man. That's a horrible thing for a dude to have to endure when he get into an argument with his woman. And then he can't really have a real conversation, because this is some situations. Some guys are intimidated with that get out shit. Okay. They're intimidated because they don't have anywhere else to go. They don't have mama gone. Granny gone. They have nowhere else to go. So now you will never get the real version of how he feel about something, because he know if he piss you off too far, y'all gonna get into a cat and dog back and forth fight, and y'all resort to get out then, motherfucker, get out. And that's just not somewhere a lot of men want to get to. But it's hard to put a man out of his own place. See what I'm saying? And when you have,
well, let me play devil's advocate right back.
Okay.
If you allow a man to move in, right, and you allow him to furnish your whole apartment, and then you say, "This is my house, get out," and he take all of the furniture because you allow him to furnish it, it's the same thing. Now you left back sitting on the floor with nothing.
It don't matter. It don't matter, because a man don't look at it like that. Now he'll tear that shit up on the way out. You know what I'm saying? But he ain't trying to grab the couch and all that old shit on his way out. He just gonna leave, because he already know if it get too loud and get too crazy in there, the police coming and they gonna drag his ass down to the Justice Center. We already know that. All right. So we gotta be cool about it. And sometimes, look, let me just say this. Men are more apt to take a L in a situation like that. The house could be in your name, the apartment, let's just say the lease is in your name, the apartment, whatever is in your name. But yet we working all day and we putting not posters, but pictures on the wall. We buying pots and pans. We're supplying things for the house. We just went to Kroger and filled the grocery store, filled the refrigerator up with groceries. We got all this shit. We got a new grill outside on the back deck and all this old shit. We get into a fight and you tell me to get out. We're probably going to get out and just be like, well, fuck that shit. Fuck all that shit in there. Fuck it. We'll walk away from it. That's how men are, because y'all have that leverage of, well, this is really my house. Y'all don't really think like he put all this shit in here. That don't come up in y'all argument. It don't really come up with the get out. When the portion of get out, you never say get out and take all that shit with you. You never say that. Y'all just say get out. And when you say get out, that means exit the building. And all the shit in here is mine. That's how
you know
y'all
what I
feel.
taught my son when he moved out and moved with somebody? I said, keep your receipts of everything that you bought. As petty as it sounds, it worked when it was time for her to go. You can't take what you didn't bring in here.
Yeah. Let me answer a question. Carolyn Smith posed one that's towards me. Let me answer this real fast, if you don't mind, Tracy. You got a second?
Yeah.
Okay, because maybe you can help me out on this question too. Because I only had daughters and I know you have sons.
Right.
Excuse me. Carolyn Smith says, so Wyatt, you would advise your daughters to move in with a man versus getting their own place? No, I would advise my daughters have their own places. All right. Before I tell her to go move in with a man, I've already had these conversations. You don't go move in with a man. Y'all move in somewhere together. You start from scratch. That's been my advice since yesterday, and it's been my advice since forever. I just described that yesterday, Carolyn Smith. My wife and I moved out together. She was at home with her parents. I was at home with my grandmother. We made a decision. Okay, we're going to try to make this thing work out. We need our own place. I didn't tell her, side thing. A lot of guys are already looking for women that got their own place, because that's how they moved. Like, that's how guys move. They look for women that already got their shit established and already together, and they just move in. I didn't want to be that type of guy. She was making her own money. She was doing what she was doing. We were going through school. She could afford to probably get a little motherfucking efficiency or something. We both could. But what I decided to do is I said, okay, this is the type of woman that I think I can be with. So I'm going to make this commitment. And I asked her, I said, are you ready to move? Because if you're ready to move, I'm ready to move, and we can move together. We'll make them. So everything was fresh. We moved into these townhomes out in Fairfield, Ohio. I forgot the name of the place, but it was fairly new at that time, 30 years ago. It was fairly new, and it was fresh. It was like everything was fresh. Everything in it was brand new, and everything we put in it was brand new, furniture and everything. So it was a fresh start, and neither one of us called. Like, I didn't say that's my couch. I didn't say this is my place. It was always ours. And I think relationships are a lot better when the man and the woman can say something is theirs because they built it together versus somebody already having something in, set up, and then you come in and now you kind of like dangling on what the hell they didn't put together. I just think it's an uncomfortable feeling, and it puts a woman in a position of feeling like everything is hers. And I just don't think that men, like some men can accept it, but a real man ain't really cut to be able to be told no shit like what I think weak men could be told shit like that by women. I think a strong man ain't gonna let a woman be in a position to be able to say, this is all my shit. A strong man ain't gonna let that happen. Sorry, I know I'm stepping on some toes for
Can I answer her question too?
Sure, go ahead.
So Carolyn, hey girl, it's a little different from me because I moved out on my own when I was 23 years old, and I didn't move in with my then soon to be husband until I was like 28. And
okay. But
I always told my kids,
y'all were dating at that time, though, Tracy. I'm sorry, y'all were dating you was 23. You moved out. Were you and your husband dating?
No, not in the beginning. I don't think we started dating until I was like 24, 25.
Okay.
But I always told my kids, you don't get to know yourself until you live by yourself. Okay. And you don't get to know somebody until you live with somebody. But my preferred suggestion was to move out and live on your own and see what you can pay for, what you can't pay for, how to, finagle through financial struggles or whatever. But my son decided that he wanted to move in with a girl. That was his choice. He had the rose-colored glasses on or whatever. And he learned a valuable lesson. But, I will never regret my decision living on my own first, because what I had was mine. I didn't have to answer to nobody. I didn't have to please nobody. And it was just a few years of me getting to know myself. I was straight out of college and, first real job. And, it was just me time. And ever since then, ever since my husband and I have moved in together when I was like 26, 27, I haven't lived with anybody else. Soon after that, we got married. So, that's all I know now. But I just know in the beginning, you need that time as a young person to get to know yourself.
Yeah, I agree. I think sometimes little guys, young men, I don't know how it is for girls, to be honest with you. I don't know how important it is for little girls to date multiple people before they settle down. I don't mean all at the same time. I'm just asking, like, from man to woman. You were a young lady and you probably dated. Is it important for women to, I think it's important, but is it something that y'all think about? Do y'all think to date a few different guys before you find Mr. Right? Do you guys want to have that type of fun, or are you looking for Mr. Right soon as you out there dating?
Oh no, I was having fun.
Okay, that makes sense.
And it helps you decide what type of man you want. I don't want to make it sound like this, but if you go through a few, then you're able to weed out what you won't tolerate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That makes sense. But I'm just thinking, because most guys, the reason why guys don't get married, it's not because they can't find Miss Right. They just ain't looking for Miss Right. See,
not at that age.
No. It's like when we get our own apartment. Soon as we get out there and we got our own front door, back door, and all that old shit, you know what I'm saying? A whole crib to ourselves. We ready to run them through there. You feel me?
Oh, yeah.
We ready to bring y'all through. And that's right. And in one of them cases, let's just say a young man got 3 or 4 of them that he didn't been dating or whatever. He probably had Miss Right. He just ain't ready to be Mr. Right now. You feel me?
Right.
And that's the difference, I think, between men and women. I think women are ready to settle a lot earlier than dudes, and it makes sense. And I think, guys that get out on their own and live on their own, and and do and bring them in and out like that, I think I think is designed to be that way. Like they're cool with it. I think when they get spoiled, when we become spoiled in that lifestyle, it's hard to go to the I gotta find Mrs. Right, because I think guys lose patience with girls. I think we lose patience with women, and I think that it's so many women, and I hate to say this, ladies, but I'm speaking out loud, I'm thinking out loud, and I think a lot of guys would agree with me. They may not want to say this shit out loud, but There's so many women in line or that are okay with the dating scene that like, if you're not willing to do what we want you to do, somebody will do it. And you
But
see
that works both ways now.
yeah, and that's why you see little girls dancing on top of cars and shit out in the street and all that old shit, because they feel like I'm gonna do what guys do. I'm gonna be just as nasty, filthy, dirty, and I'm gonna run through dudes. I'm gonna have all these baby daddies. I'm
not saying it in that sense, though.
I am.
I'm saying depending on what a woman's motive is, what she wants out of a guy. If she finds one that can't do it, there's a next one who will.
Yeah.
And all of them ain't gonna make them dance and do all of that on table. So there's some generally nice guys out there who might treat a woman for a little bit, you know?
Yeah. Here's what I mean when I say the women are out there dancing on top of cars and stuff, because these guys have treated them in a certain way that they don't have respect for men anymore. So they feel like they can be as ratchet, as dirty, as dungeon as they possibly can. They don't care. They are not trying to impress dudes. And there are guys that type of behavior impresses, because that type of guy know all I'm gonna do is have fun with her. She ain't gonna never be nothing that I'm gonna be with forever. So
that sounds like somebody that don't have respect for herself as well.
Right. That's it. But here's the thing though, Tracy. Correct me if I'm wrong, sis. I've never been a young lady, but I think young ladies. I think what happens is y'all have to be treated badly before you turn bad, and that could start real early. It could start all the way from not having a father. But let's skip that stage. Let's go all the way to she's 16 in high school and dudes are dating her and treating her like shit. Now she's starting to lose respect for guys and she don't really want to be bothered with dudes. And you know, that respect factor is lost based on how she's being treated versus I'm just a gutter, trifling ass girl because I was just born this way. I don't think that they are. I think that they're bred that way. I think that they're turned that way because of how guys treat them.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Well,
that's definitely true.
I'm glad you finally come around and agree with me on everything.
Yeah, today. I ain't gonna hold you out because I am at work, but I just wanted to talk to CK. I like CK. Don't take it the wrong way, CK. You cool with me.
Did you just say you at work?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You back at it. Okay. All right, sis.
Oh yeah, this is
They don't know you on this phone call, do they?
Huh?
Go get your supervisor. Let me talk to him.
No, we're not gonna do that.
It ain't like Metropolitan. I could have got on the phone with Sharon and all of them. Wyatt, what you doing? I'm just playing.
Now, see, at Metropolitan, they would have been listening to the podcast.
I know, that's what I'm talking about. I would have been able to talk to the supervisors and all that old shit down there. What y'all up to?
Right. They would have been the next caller.
So you know what I be talking about when I talk about this dysfunction and the disarray and the disorganization down there. And then they get on the radio and they take all this accolade. You think that they getting shit together and they doing so much for the community. And I'm like, they just got jobs. That's all
smoke and mirrors.
That's all. And people, you'll never know it unless you've been in that circle. Now, when I got out of college, that was my first job. And I thought I was giving back. I took a pay cut and all type of shit to get down there. And I was just young and dumb. I was young.
It's not a circle, it's a plantation.
It is. And you know what's crazy is it's a plantation. It's an in-house plantation and a field plantation, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yep, sure do.
And that's what frustrates me, because when I get on my spills and they start talking that Trump shit and coon shit to me, I'd be like, bro, most of these people, they ain't even been through half the shit that I've already done seen. And you can see how they push us through these systems and these programs and all these nonprofit organizations that need niggas to be broke and dusty and shit and all that. They create that lifestyle for us so they can continue to get their jobs. They want y'all to be mad at rich people so much, but don't nobody make more money off of poor people than other poor people. Trust and believe that. I'm telling you, these programs are set up. I heard something the other day, Tracy. I promise I'm gonna let you go because I know you're at work and I don't want your supervisor and them on your ass. But I heard
that's something. Okay. You can make me a millionaire. You just said that.
I heard, well, you got to get a plan. I can't give you the plan and execute it. But all I'm saying to you is, I heard something the other day. It was Stefan Pryor. Now y'all know dude be tagging me and letting me know what's going on about certain things. He came on this program and had a conversation, and he's been trying to tell people about these properties and how they've been, done wrong about getting these. And I won't even say liens on the property. I'm talking about they're going in receivership. I understand all of what he's saying. Now, is the process working quite that way? Maybe not. Okay. And I'm not saying it is or it isn't. I'm just saying that it's not black and white like he's saying. I understand the process of how it go into receivership. However, I heard somebody giving him some advice about how he needs to start a nonprofit organization. Let me just say this to my people. Whenever somebody lead out, now I'm a businessman, okay? Say what you want to say about me, my records show, okay? Whenever somebody lead out to you and tell you you need to be starting a nonprofit organization, they probably don't know how to do business. They probably don't understand business in the first place, because as black folks, we got to get off the nipple of these 501c3s. That shit is a con. Okay, it's using the government's money to keep people fucked up. The more programs that we create, the more we enable people to become self-sufficient. So if you keep on making things where rents can be paid by these nonprofit organizations, what you're doing is you're keeping landlords paid. You're putting people in positions where the landlords will go up on the rent knowing somebody can't afford it, and the landlords know there are programs out there that exist. Now, what a landlord will never do is put somebody out of an apartment that they know is hard to rent. So if everybody is not able to pay in that apartment, then that landlord is going to try to get somebody, maintain a steady, affordable rent. But when these guys understand, especially, and I don't want to get blasted on the show because I'm talking about a certain group of people, but these are people that don't look like us that own these properties. When they know that they got all these nonprofit organizations out here that will assist on rent, will help with the electricity bills and whatever, they purposely go up on your shit so you will go to these programs. If those programs don't exist, a lot of those evictions won't exist. Now, I'm not talking about a legitimate eviction, somebody that can't afford their rent or had a hardship. I'm not talking about that. But Tracy, you know how it is in metropolitan housing. We got people. Now, I'm going to go back. This number might not be realistic today, but you know what I'm saying is realistic because of your background at Metropolitan. I was in the legal department. I used to have to file evictions for people that had rent of $25 a month. And they got 3 months behind. They owe $75 in rent. Am I lying, Tracy?
You're right.
$75 in rent. And the court cost would be $300. Court cost is more than what they owe in the rent. And let me just say this to you. There was always a program out there that can help somebody. Why you need a program? What mother with a child who got $25, that was minimum rent back then. I don't know what it is now. What? And see, I sound dirty. I sound nasty, don't I? I sound like I don't care about people. What I care more about is this bullshit that y'all believing of all these 501c3s, nonprofit. That's a way for them to get money to funnel through. Most of these places get 80 cents on the dot. They get 80. It's an 80-20 split. 20% go towards whatever the fuck they talking about, they helping. The other 80% goes to keep their business going, keep them paid. They riding around in Cadillacs and getting fat ass checks off these nonprofits, claiming to be helping the community. Now that ain't all of them. I'm just the majority of them. That's what they are. It's I don't want to say money laundering, but I would like to see somebody that has a 501c3 or a nonprofit go out and start a profitable company and be able to have the latitude to be able to expand your business, make a profit, and open up businesses that can anchor other businesses. But as long as you under these 501c3s and shit, you're not able to do that. They control your business. You just a manager of that business. You don't own no business. You own whatever situation that you created that needed to be fixed. And y'all, I know y'all don't want to hear that shit. Tracy, am I lying about the method? Ain't that how it go over there?
That's how it goes.
Okay. So Catherine said it's $50. I guess it's $50 minimum rent now. Well, back in my day, when I was there, it was $25. And I would see evictions for three, you start the eviction process after the third month of non-payment. And I think the court fee was like $175. And it's like there's always some program there. There's always some program waiting for people to fail. And that's how they eat. And let's just say they get a grant for $100,000. They're not putting $80,000 toward the people. The people would be lucky to see $10,000 to go support the program, the people that the program is supporting. I promise you. And I'm not suggesting it's all programs. I'm just saying there's a lot of programs out there. And there's a reason why there's a lot of programs out there, because it's a system set in place where if you don't hold people accountable, if you don't make them change their decisions and the choices that they're making in life, they will become victims of that system. And there will always be somebody to pick them up and not help them in the right kind of way, helping them on all the wrong kind of ways. I've seen it all day, every day. And then 1 year later, they go through the same process. 1 year later, they right back in eviction court.
That's true.
Ain't learned a damn thing. And it's not like it's okay, Tracy, you and your husband live in Winton Terrace and y'all paying $780. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's some people that work regular jobs that live in Winton Terrace. I don't know why the hell they doing that. I do know rent is expensive. So some people do it. You got guys that work at plants and the wife is a CNA or whatever, and they live in Winton Terrace or public housing somewhere paying $900 a month, and their neighbor pay $50 a month. And that person could face the $900 a month person could face the same eviction that the $50.
But the $900 a month person can't afford today's rent of $1,500 to $1,700 a month. But that's a different story for a different day.
Exactly. And then that person is treated a little bit different than the person that's paying minimum rent when it comes down to the systems, because guess what? They make too much money. They don't qualify. Right. They don't qualify they don't fit in the guidelines of what the other person fits in. See, it's designed to keep, I just keep telling y'all, I don't care if whoever y'all go get to come in here and have a conversation with me, if they've never done it or if they've never been part of it, then they just talking about some shit they've been talking about for 20 years. Okay. I've been there, I've seen it, and I see the process, and I see how these programs are put in place to keep people dependent. I know why they don't want good school systems for us. I know why they took trades out. Imagine if they had trade schools 15 years ago. How long ago has it been since they done took that shit out of the schools, Tracy? Do you know?
Probably the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, okay.
They were there when I left school, but they were on a decline.
Now look where we are right now with AI and all this takeover, and look where we would be right now if we were the HVAC guys, if we were the electricians, if Withrow was busting out electricians left and right. Look at where we would be right now. Lil Randy's, Lil Tracy's, and stuff like that would be able to take over our businesses. Look at where we are in 2026. Look at how many people that look like you and I, Tracy, would have HVAC companies or have that background and still there would be no threat of AI taking our jobs. None of that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Let me tell you this, and I'm gonna get off the phone because it's 3:00.
Go ahead.
My son went to Scarlet Oaks. He got a trade in construction and framing. And then after he graduated, he wanted to branch out and expand his portfolio. So he went to this one job where he was trying to get into the apprenticeship program. And when he got there, and I know how you feel about this, Wyatt, but just hear me out. When he got there, it was filled with white boys who said, well, no, we want you to start here. So you sit in the back of the class and you read this book for a while, and they're going to do the apprenticeship and go out on the jobs. We were like, because he already went in there with the certifications and accreditations that he needed. All he needed to do was sit down and take the test. But the game is rigged. So I'm gonna say that, and I'm gonna get off the phone. I
All right,
mean,
sis.
read between the lines. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything ain't set up for us. We have to work twice as hard.
I understand. I hear you on that. I think what happened is we failed our younger generation somewhere down the line. You know, I don't know if we failed without being assisted. Somebody assisted us. It's hard. Like for instance, let's just use what do they call them? A person that takes you gone, sis. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang up. I'm gonna listen.
Okay, I'll talk to you in a minute.
Right.
Thanks for engaging
All
with
right,
us.
bye.
Appreciate
Bye.
you. That was Tracy Dillingham. Inspectors, appraisers of property. It's almost impossible to find a black appraiser. Trust me, I know. I got guys that I know that are in the real estate game. I've heard different versions of why it's hard to find black appraisers. Generally, it's like you have to go to school first. All right? That's not the big deal. Once you finish school, now you have to have someone that'll take you under your wing and do, you know, you have to work for them for so long. I don't know, maybe a year or two. I don't know exactly what it is for appraisers, but I know how it is for plumbers. You know, you have to, you have to work for somewhere, somewhere, apprenticeship somewhere for a long period of time. Now you got to figure out how's that going to work for me? Like, who do I go to? Who do I go if I'm a plumber and I get out of plumbing school? Now, where do I work? Who's going to hire me and give me the experience and the track record that I need to be able to get my own thing going in a year or 2 or 5, however long it takes. All right, Huddy Hood, I'll holler at you. All I'm saying to you is, yeah, there's some assistance in us the game being rigged. Yeah, there's definitely some assistance. But I still think that somewhere down the line, these programs and these systems failed us. When they took all that stuff out of the public schools, you had to see technology coming. You had to see that we were, and I know this is a touchy situation, and I know this is bad, but I don't know if you guys go out to the suburbs. I don't know if it's only in the suburbs where we're getting all these roofs put on, but I see a lot of Mexicans. I don't see a lot of brothers hanging on tripods and shit like that, or up on tripods putting roofs on the building. And I certainly haven't seen one brother sitting in the truck watching the duties be done because he's a supervisor. I ain't seen that yet in not one neighborhood that I've seen them putting roofs on. I don't even know if the people they have on them roofs doing the jobs are certified. I don't know. I'm in the bonding business, and I very seldom. I'm gonna tell y'all what I do. I look at sometimes these guys they've caught on. They've caught on and not put. They used to put the signs in the grass of where they're working on the roof, so other people could come by in the neighborhood and get the phone number so they could call about their roof. They kind of stopped doing that because what happens is when you call. The state inspectors are now starting to see if these people are licensed, or are these just fly-by-night companies? And they have to do that. It's part of the regulation, because what happens is this: you got some guys out here that are scamming people. There are guys out here that'll bid a job and maybe even get a down payment and bring a few supplies out and never come back. They get, if it's a $20,000 job. I mean, you see this on the news. This happens. It's real life. They'll come out, write it up, do the whole nine, and work that company for 6 months on that paperwork. Because to go through a court process, you could file a civil suit against somebody. It may not hit court for 4 or 5 months. You know how much money you can steal in 4 or 5 months? And all these cases are piling up. You done made $200,000 in fraudulent money. So they have to be on it a little bit more, of keeping up with who's out here promising work and doing these jobs, and they're not actually happening. So that's why they're not putting the signs up anymore, especially if there's a bad guy out there doing this. And I see the Mexicans on the roofs. I think we all have seen that, and I don't know where they're getting their training from. Do you? You can't just say, okay, I'm putting these shingles up on the roof, I'm going to hammer it down. I think it's a skill. I think it's a craft. You know, it's like me going to get some brakes put on my car. I ain't about to take it to Mr. Right Now and Mr. Cheap. I want my shit done right. Just because the car is stopping, it may be stopping for a moment, but that don't mean that it's put on and it's on right, on proper. You know, be careful. The guy, he charged you, they gave you a quote of $20,000 to get a roof put on, and then here come this other company talking about 12. It's a little shaky. That's a little shaky to me. And I'm not saying they won't come put a $12,000 roof on your house. I'm saying that $12,000 roof, yeah, they can write it up like, hey, we're gonna give you a 30-year or 15-year warranty. That company probably not gonna be around in 15 years. Probably not gonna be around. David Herring, let me ask you, bro, because you know the neighborhood in Ohio. You see a lot of roofs being put on in that community. See any of us up there? I just don't. I don't see a lot of us. And I think that's a problem. I think it's a problem in a whole lot of different ways. And when we don't have that type of teaching going on in our schools, I think the repercussions of it, we're not even there yet. We're not even scratching the surface of watching our younger generational. See, everybody's not going to go to dental school. Everybody's not going to go to medical school. Everybody's not going to go to college and get a 4-year degree to become a teacher or to become something that requires a 4-year degree. Some guys are going to go out and go to a trade school and become multimillionaires because they understand that labor jobs is where it's at for them. And that's all fine and dandy. It's great. I can't wait to see that day. But they're diluting that area. They're diluting that space for some of our younger people. And then they definitely diluted it for Black folks because we're majority of us, let's just be honest. If you go to Cincinnati Public School, majority of the school is minority, is us, right? And if they're not offering certain things that could get us into Scarlet Oaks and all this old stuff and give us a head start, you know, we're working from behind. And I've always said that it was a bad situation that they got rid of, you know, trade school. They got rid of the building. And I just thought it was such, you know, can you imagine a kid getting out of high school with a barber's license? They had cosmetology school when I was in school. You know what I'm saying? One of my best friends, he was in cosmetology. It looked crazy because he was in there with hair blow dryers and shit. But he was in there getting his hair cut and he was getting his license to be able to cut hair. And bro, he's had his shop for 30 years, 40 years or whatever. He's made a great living for himself. You know, he had no intentions of going to Munich University where we went, where he had no intentions. He wasn't doing that. He knew exactly what he was going to do in life. He cut all our hair, put lines and shit all in our hair. He was going to be a barber. That's what he went to school for. And now you got, you know, now people are coming to this country. I don't even know if they're licensed for the work that they're doing, and they're cutting the prices. You understand? So you got to be careful. And I know a lot of people don't want to have that conversation because you think this got something to do with all that other political shit. I'm looking at what it's doing to us. I just want to know how we feel that that's bettering us. Look, I'll be honest with you guys. It don't hurt me one bit. I believe in capitalism. So I believe that if we were in a position where we were building companies and hiring in these folks, maybe I'd have a different position. But that's not the case. Like I told you, every time I see some Mexicans up on the roof, putting on roofs for homes in the communities, you know, in the suburbs, I always see a white dude sitting in the truck supervising. Those are usually the owners. It ain't us. So we're not capitalizing. We might get cheap labor, but they're putting us out of business. So that's a consumer way of thinking. I'm not a consumer. My mind is never on a consumer level. If you're the type of person that wants to get things for cheap and you're willing, it's almost like the Walmart situation. I've never been a fan of Walmart, not because of their quality, not because of any other thing, or it's funny to go in there and nothing but a bunch of broke people, all that old bullshit. That ain't what I've looked at, well, I had a bad situation with Walmart because they were turning everybody into consumers. Walmart was putting small businesses out of business. That's a problem for me. You know, when you have Mr. J's in the community who has a shop that fix bicycles, and then you got a company that comes in and can sell, Mr. J gonna fix your bicycle for $60. Okay. All right, cool. But then you go to Walmart and you can buy a whole brand new bike for $60, $70. Where does Mr. J make his living? What does Mr. J do in the community anymore? See what I'm saying? You got Tom who has a t-shirt company in our community. He can't make money because they sell them same t-shirts for the same price. They're selling t-shirts for what Jay pay for them. See what I'm saying? So, you know, some people don't care because it don't affect them, but they're not looking at the long play. You got people that'll take that consumer, that way of thinking, and say, hey, I'm gonna get that $12,000. I'm gonna get that $12,000 roof put on my house because it's gonna cost me $12,000 less. And that's fine. But we're not thinking about the long run. I'm not suggesting, okay, pay the extra $8,000. You got it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that there's a price to pay. You ever heard that old saying that cheap is more expensive? Sometimes going the cheap way is the more expensive way. Going to get a cheap shirt at Walmart, you'll take you'll need 4 of them before that one good quality one would tear up. That happens a lot. And that's what's happening right now. We're paying cheap labor. We're paying a lot of things that make it better for us, but yet in the long run, where do we fit in on ownership? If you're a consumer thinking there's only 2 people in this world, all right? You can hate me, whatever, say I don't know what I'm talking about. Tune out if I don't know what I'm talking about. There's only 2 people in this world. There's buyers and sellers. And your mentality of how you choose to spend your money lets me know. Some of us spend money to make money. Some of us spend money just to be happy and be leisure and don't care how the money is being recycled. Some of us care a whole lot about how this dollars is being recycled. And I'm telling you, if you go back and look at us, Black folks, people that look like you and I, pay attention to how we're recycling our dollar, because the recycle is more important than you know. Let me go to the phone lines before I get out of here. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
It's your favorite caller, Twin.
I'm glad you feel that way, Twin. What's going on, man?
I can't call it. Hey, prayers to Jesse Jackson, man.
Oh my God, I don't know how I got this far without saying something about Jesse Jackson. Sorry about the loss of Jesse Jackson, guys. I do have a Jesse Jackson story. Let me say it real fast, Twin. It's 20 seconds. We met Jesse Jackson one time. I don't know where my Withrow Tigers at. I remember, I don't know if it was 88, 87, something like that. Jesse Jackson came to Withrow, gave a speech. He tore it up. He did what he do, I am somebody's speech. And he left his wallet. All right. He left his wallet at the school. I don't know how that happened. It must have fell out his back pocket because he sat in the front row of the audience, in the auditorium. Some of y'all might remember this if you went to Death Row back then. He sat in the front row, then they called him up. He got up. I'm assuming that his wallet fell out of his back pocket. Well, when he left, somebody found his wallet and he had to come back. Tracy Dillingham said it was 88. Sounds about right. And I remember listening to that speech. I was inspired. He didn't, he left his wallet, and that's the only thing, I remember about that. But I do remember seeing him in person. Jesse Jackson, I do remember seeing him at the Million Man March as well. I didn't meet him, shake his hand like I did at Withrow, but I seen him at the Million Man March. He wasn't really a participant. He was there to be seen. He was doing what he does. And he was just going by, passing by. And it was one of them things where, he wanted to be part of the process of what was happening. And you know, appreciate it. But I'm sorry for the loss of Jesse Jackson. My stories are a little bit different than a lot of people's stories because some of us were raised on different information. Twin, what you got, bro?
Yeah, I met him a couple of times. He came through the hood and gave his little speech and all
Was
that.
he from Chi?
He's from Alabama, but you know
Okay.
he migrated and he started the Rainbow Coalition.
Okay.
And it was a lot of Polars and Mexicans getting a job on the Dan Rand and all that. So him and Dorothy Tillman, they stopped all that. Like, nah, y'all ain't gonna come through the South Side and all that and think y'all just gonna take all these jobs from the black people. And so he jumped into it, got in with the mayor and the aldermen and they came together and a lot of black folks got the Dan Rand job working through there. But growing up though, Wyatt, yeah, it's been, you know, I always saw Mexicans on the roof. And sometimes that's what I mostly see around here, Mexicans on the roof. Now my daddy and them, they had his little roofing company. He had people working for him and everything. And then back then there was a couple of, you know, black folks who had roofing jobs and all that. But most of the times right now as we live today, I see a lot of Mexicans up there. And why they don't wait to know a week or put it up. They'll put their roof up within a day or two. The way they be working. So yeah,
A
that's
week
what
or
I
two.
see today.
Bro, I done seen roofs, 2,500 square foot homes put up in hours.
Yeah.
In one day.
Yeah.
In one day.
Yeah.
I mean, and to be honest with you, bro, I just I'm a knock on wood. I've been fortunate enough not to need a roof on any of my homes yet because they're not that, you know, they don't need it. But I'm gonna say this to you. I read a few comments about people and credentials. You know, no matter what I say, there's always gonna be something different said or whatever I'm talking about. Somebody always got to say something opposite or whatever. That's fine. All I'm saying to you is this: be careful buying cheap because not everybody is certified in those spaces. I'm telling y'all, there are so many. Go if you really want to know some information. I know it's kind of a lot to do. Sometimes it's easier to hear people talk. And that's how a lot of people obtain their information by listening to people talk versus going down and looking at
When
things.
you say cheap quality or cheap labor, you got to pay for the work.
Both.
Okay.
Both.
Okay.
I mean, look, you in construction. I'm not a construction. I'm not an engineer, nor am I a construction buff or anything like that. But we all know that in construction, materials matter. Okay, there's certain grades of certain materials that need to be used on certain jobs that won't qualify. There's certain things that small little companies sell not intentionally to put a whole roof up, but to just maybe patch a roof. And if you buying something from somebody and they're selling you something that's really just meant to be patching your roof, but yet they're putting that whole material up to do an entire roof, that wouldn't probably pass inspection. You know what I'm saying? And all I'm saying to you is how you get these real cheap jobs is not just the cheap labor, it's the cheap material. And then when you turn around and in 3 years, the weather has beat the hell out of your roof, and you look to that company that gave you that cheap ass job and you say, hey, I have warranty work. You know what I'm saying? That warranty's not going to be there. It's not going to be there. You see what I'm saying? So if we're going to have, I don't have a problem having discussions about things, but if you're going to just shoot down certain things, just have information. You understand? Like, know that there are people out here having problems with those roofs too. Some of them ain't had problems with them yet, but they've been putting them up for 5 years. Give it 3 years and you're going to run into these situations. But a lot of people don't really go there because they just, you know, they say what they say because of what? I mean, I'm saying at least I have some type of inkling because in the bonding business, those roofing companies have to be bonded and insured. And there's some out there that are doing fraudulent work and they're not bonded and insured. So I feel like I bring some type of information to the forefront about what's going on out there.
Is that school DeVry? You remember DeVry, that institution? That's still uh going on, or they stopped there too?
Say it again. I'm sorry, twin.
Is it called DeVry? DeVry Institute, that little program they used to have,
I
something
know that
similar to
name. I don't.
Scholar. Is they gone out?
What exactly do they do?
They do the same thing.
The
Thing
Bright.
like
Is it a
mechanic
school?
and
Okay, it's a school like Scarlet Oak type of thing.
something like that. Remember that long time ago when we was coming out of school? They was had that when we had woodshop class.
Yeah.
And they said you can go to DeVry and start after you graduate and all that, labor trade school or whatever it was.
Yeah, I don't know
I
if that
wonder,
was a
do
legitimate
that still
one.
exist?
I don't know because I know there were several. You guys remember
Yeah.
those schools downtown Cincinnati where when you got off the you get off the bus and they rushed you with the clipboards and they wanted you to sign up for those schools. They wanted
you ain't know a lie, why?
Yeah, they rushed your ass. They rushed you.
You
They rushed
point,
you.
man.
And they couldn't wait to see a single little sister out there with a kid, because now they know that person's gonna qualify for that student loan. You know what I'm saying? They just, I mean, our community have been accepted. I mean, we have just been such we have been used by so many different systems that's funded by the government that
Yeah.
it's like the government knows what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? And they use people in the way of making it seem like they're doing something for you. And I'm like, I mean, we are the same people who never trusted the government, but yet we'll turn to them and say, hey, what you got for me? And I'm like, they ain't got shit for you, but an opportunity for somebody else. Now you can maybe get as much as you can get out of that opportunity, but I'm trying to tell you that I've seen it since back in the day. I've seen those people have student loans out their ass, and those people were coached, and they would tell them, all you got to do is sign up. I'm going to get you $1,500. Come back, sign the paperwork. You know what I'm saying? And they would enroll them in the schools. And them girls would sit in there for a week or two, I think you had to be in there for maybe 30 days of attendance, and then you qualified to get the full, the school got the full premium. Now you owe the government, you owe whoever the student loan people are. Some of them were government ran, some of them were grants, but you owe, you know, $7,000-8,000.
Yeah.
And never went to school. And it go on your credit. And they gave you a $1,500 check and they ran off with $7,000 or $8,000. And they was running around downtown catching us coming off of you know, the metro and all that old shit. And nobody ever said anything about it. We looked at it like, oh, they was some con artists and they did this, they did that, but nobody really turned around and said, look at how they did us. They took advantage of us. Nobody says that. No, nobody says that. It's generally because of the leadership who seen it happening, kept it closed. They just didn't say shit about it. And I think that's another sign of bad leadership.
And they was passing that out like Jehovah's Witness and coming to people like that. Hey, sign up for this and you can get this loan, you get this grant and all that. And you know, us black folks, we like money. We caught it in everything, and you know, now you go on student loans and everything else. But hey, why it's a lingo for Allen Iverson, man. Letting you know.
Yeah, but you gotta come on, man. You don't think I know that? Of course, I understand. If we was talking about basketball, and I said AI, then it would make sense.
I don't know, man. You be losing your thoughts sometimes. You getting up there, so you don't be remembering stuff.
Do you know who I was talking to when that mistake happened? I was talking to CK. I'm sure everybody in here knew what the hell I was talking about when I said AI. Nobody was thinking the jump shot or going to the damn basket. Nobody was thinking that way.
Oh man, hey Wyatt, man, I heard something today, man. Yesterday, I think it was on the news. Man, they said Wyatt. I think I put in a Wyatt live group. Hey Wyatt, they said, man, $300,000. $300,000 plus $120,000 more gonna be allocated or proposal they coming up with Mark Jeffrey and some of them councilmen down there for the dang on immigrants. I said, if this ain't no remix out of Mayor Johnson playbook,
that's all right.
I said, man, I don't know what's going on here.
It's about the same. It's about the right time for Cincinnati to get it because They're about
No, you talking about give it to the migrants, man.
No.
Immigrants.
No. What I said 2.5 years ago is Cincinnati will fill it here in a minute, but it's gonna take.
Okay.
It's coming. It's coming. The same thing that we were talking about 3 years ago, right here on this platform, when
nobody get no money to the New York and Chicago. I remember that.
And I was telling you that Cincinnati won't start talking about it until their city council start talking about giving money to some shit that ain't got nothing to do with us. And then we'll see how they'll already be, the brain and the mind already be mushed together in a way that it'll sound like it's for the people and it's for this and it's for that. It's just some more small 501c3s is going to come around.
Yeah.
Some nonprofits is going to line themselves up. It's just like the nonprofit organizations that took the $300,000 for them for 4 kids to go into the night to the what do they call it when the curfew trap house. Yeah, they spent $100,000 per person. They had 4 kids, and all that time spent $400,000 on a curfew situation, and you didn't have 4 kids.
But y'all say we got a curfew problem.
Well,
everything else.
It's not so much that. It's just that some of these things are designed. See, here's the thing, bro. We live in a world where people capitalize off of confusion, chaos, and failure. We live off of that. So if people can get paid off of failure, why make things successful? If you can get paid, if you can breed a school system of failure and get paid for it, why would you ever want people to be self-sufficient and get out there and get their own? They can't make no money off of you that way. But if you, like, for instance, if you don't want kids running around and breaking curfew and all that old shit, there's a way of fixing that. There's a way of fixing it. There's a way of fixing it where kids aren't downtown running around chopping, acting crazy and taking wallets off people. There's a way of stopping all these shootings in these nightclubs and people doing CPR in the middle of the street up there. I seen all that shit. I just ain't talking about it because what's the point in talking about it, bro? I can sit here and tell you, what they'll say is it's gun violence. No, it's bad behavior violence. That's what it is. It's us killing us and all that old shit. And then they'll turn it into something else, like the conversation we had the other day about we hate one another. No, we don't. We don't hate one another. We just are in positions where bad shit happen. And when bad shit happen, it don't have a name on it. It don't have a name on it. So you can be an innocent young lady at a park in Cincinnati, Ohio, and be shot.
Did you see that last night too?
Well, I know another lady, a little 18-year-old, another little
18-year-old.
Bro, listen, I'm on all that shit. I just don't talk about it. For what? You think? See, I can't keep telling people to stop reminding everybody about how bad Trump is, and then I'm gonna sit here and remind everybody of the same shit that's happening in their life what's happening in their city every day. They know what's happening. You can read, you don't even have to read the newspaper if they still do. You don't even have to watch Cincinnati.com when it come across your phone. It come on the local news. It's everywhere. People talk about it on social media. You see all these little posts going up. Oh, y'all didn't have to kill my cousin. You see all that shit every day. So I don't have to remind you, just like I tell people, y'all don't have to talk about punk ass Trump every day. You don't have to do that. So if I'm going to say that to people, I'm not going to sit back and talk about the crime that ain't really going on in the city, the gang violence that's not really going on in the city, the shooting of 18-year-old little girls, 11-year-old little girls, little boys doing drive-bys. Club owners getting, losing their lease because of the violence. I'm not going to talk about that every day, twin. I don't have to, bro. People see it, and they're not going to take my advice. They're not going to take what I talk about it anyway. So I'm not going to frustrate myself, bro. I said what I said. And you can't, you're not going to convince everybody of what's right and what's wrong. They got their mind made up of what's right, and it is what it is.
Let me ask you your opinion on this, or whatever. Hey, what you think about Gorilla Glow,
Glorilla, the rapper.
Glorilla, her sister called Brorilla, I think.
Oh shit, that's
what
too
you
many.
Think about that?
I don't think bruh. That shit don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing to me. I can't even give you an opinion on that crazy shit. That's soap opera shit to me. That shit ain't
I
got
was
nothing to
just
do. I
one.
don't know who's right, what's wrong. They arguing because the girl don't get back to her family, but then her family. I don't know nothing about that shit.
Oh,
That ain't on my radar. Not nah.
I thought you probably looked into it or something like that.
Nah, hey, look into it for what? What I get out of that?
I mean, I'm just asking.
No, I'm
I
not
don't
trying to
know.
be rude, twin. I'm saying it in a way like that's soap
Yeah, I
opera
know.
shit. That shit ain't got nothing to, it don't get none of us any money. It don't get us, it don't clear our brains or clear our minds of anything. You know what it
Yeah.
is? It's just like those people that are rioting in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
It's noise. Twin, let me ask you a question. Have you seen the riots and the shit that's going to protest? They call them protests. You seen the people in Minnesota fighting the ICE people and all that? You've seen that, right? You see how they keep it on TV and it ain't happening nowhere else but Minnesota, right?
Right.
But deportations are going on everywhere. Here's the thing. Has anybody ever thought about why those protesters are out there with whistles and saying, calling? They got us so fucking tricked that you got white folks out there calling black folks house niggas, and you got black people accepting it. Ain't nobody said shit to me or said nothing about white people calling black people house niggas.
Right.
Nobody said shit. So I don't even want to have no conversation. You will never convince me that you care about somebody if you don't care about what they saying about you or care about yourself. Then you can't convince me you care about nobody. Because self come first. I ain't never cared for nobody more than I care for myself. Nobody. Because people who depend on me need me. And if I can't be right in my mind, I ain't gonna never be right for them. But what I'm saying to you is this, twin. Those are called protesters out there. Do you know why they have whistles? Check this out. Do you know why they make so much noise and they keep it loud? Do you know that they're purposely trying to distract people? They're purposely trying to get in these officers' heads and keep it noisy. You know what's just like that? The hood. You ever notice how loud the hood is? How it's so much noise? You know why you need noise? Noise is a distraction. And the louder pitch the noise is, the less likely you are to think straight.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? That's on purpose. And then you got these white folks blowing whistles in these people's heads and calling them house niggas. So one of them will punch the shit out of them. So you telling me if you walking down the street and somebody don't like what you doing or like what you got on and they blow whistle all in your face and then say you a house nigga and this is a white person, you gonna tell me you ain't gonna punch the shit out of them?
I'm gonna beat the brakes off his ass.
Exactly. So you're purposely trying to antagonize me. You're purposely trying to get me to put hands on you so you'll be on the camera being drugged, looking like we deporting somebody ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Look at the badass ICE agent. Look what they doing. Look what they doing. And you sitting back here calling me a house nigga and you white? And then you got people out here. There's a brother. I ain't even gonna call him a brother. You got a guy out here just for clout he got way more views than me. He got a lot of more background in all this old shit. These Negroes out here trying to justify a white liberal getting in a black man's face and calling him a house nigga. Literally trying to talk to our community and try to justify. Don't act like y'all ain't seen it. Don't act like y'all ain't seen it. Trying to justify these white folks calling black people house niggas. And y'all on that side. Y'all on that side of the people who doing shit like that. And you think somebody else got a problem. Come on now. Tell me I'm lying. Somebody out here tell me I'm over-exaggerating, I'm lying, I'm on some bullshit. Tell me I'm a Trumpster. Tell me whatever the fuck you want. But you better go look this up. There are black people out here trying to justify white people calling other black people house niggas, blowing whistles in their face. And This is why I tried to tell y'all that ain't our fight. And y'all going, well, they killed a black man. Well, what the black man do? What did he do? Show me where they just grabbing black people who are citizens and got them in cages and they sending them back where? How is this our fucking fight?
I want to know was the immigrants downtown. I want to know was the immigrants on North Side the other day, or any activists out there the other day when them two dudes got shot. So we, like you said, we just make noise just to be making noise, man. I don't know what it is, but like you say, man, that ain't our fight. I don't care. It's really not our fight, man. Let them people do what they want to do.
When you can tell somebody, well, if they can do that to them, they'll go. We're next. They're gonna do it. Where are we going? Where they send? Look, hold on. Where are we as black folks going? If we were born in this country, where do we have to go back to? I seen a video just before I came on the show, and they had this guy who was asking the Mexicans out in LA, in California, with the flags. They had their Mexican flags, waving them, and the guy just walked up to him with his little video camera and was like, what's the best country in the world? And every last one of them Mexicans said Mexico, but they're in America, waving the flag, having a good time, eating tacos and doing their shit out in California. And the guy just asked him, well, where's the best where's the best country? Make this make sense. How do you say that Mexico is the best country in the world, but you're in America seeking opportunity? They know America the best country in the world. If it wasn't, your ass would be in Mexico living your best life. But you over here in red, green, and white attire with a flag protesting, and you call Mexico the best country in the world. And y'all think that they gonna be on your side when shit go down? Y'all ain't never been to the West Coast. You ain't never seen how they stick together. You ain't never been around these folks when it's time to loke up. They don't give a fuck about your black ass. I'm telling you. I done lived in places in my life, I see them stick together. And y'all think that we got some hard ass, hood ass dudes, bro. I've been around some dudes. I done seen some essays punch the shit out of somebody, and they'll stump your ass till you half-ass dead. Them the people. Now, not all of them are like that, but I've seen some people that go hard for they people.
Yeah.
And I ain't seen that. I mean, it's been a long time since I seen that out of us. But now look what we doing. We going hard for some people that don't give a fuck about us.
Right.
I didn't see them out at the George Floyd. I didn't see them out at the shit y'all was out there selling tickets to. Ain't none of them sending no money to Black Lives Matter. We all know that was corporate money. Where was that at 3 years ago? Where were the essays at? Where was the Mexican flags all up in the air with the Black Lives Matter flags that was a where were they at? Crickets.
Yeah, that's all I had to say. Wyatt. Yeah, I heard on a 700, I believe, about what he was talking about, allocation for 300,000 for the immigrants and all that. And dude was like, the radio guy was like, it's a third of homeless people in Cincinnati. They could have sent that money to, and they come over here and don't have to pay taxes and get free housing assistance and everything else. I'm like, man, that's sad. That's sad. We in there fighting for no reason. No reason, man. Just protest for no reason. That's not our fight. Let them people fight that battle. We got some other things to worry about.
Well, I don't listen. Here's the thing, twin. I don't want people to get this misunderstood. I'm not saying that we just should be falling back. I'm saying the energy that we applying to this shit right here could be going towards something that's really benefiting us. This shit we fighting for and including ourselves in doesn't benefit us. That energy could be going towards some other stuff. It's like this. I'm going to go back because I've been talking about it long enough to reference it. All the money Chicago went in debt for had nothing to do with black folks, but now you want the black folks in the city of Chicago to pay the bill for who you were taking care of. You didn't take care of the black folks. Now you want the black folks to pay the $51 million a month money they applied to the immigrants. You want them to pay the $400, $600 a night hotel bills. The bills are due. Now you want the taxpayers to pay. And that's the shit I was talking about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. Some people can forecast issues and trouble. Some people live in the moment and don't see it coming. Nothing is free. Not the government. Money that the government distributes, they don't just print money. I know that's this misconception that the government can just print off $2 billion if they want. They got the men over there. They can print that shit off. No, you can't just print off money. There's a level of balance that has to go with in the economy. You don't just print money and just take care of things because it'll offset the balance of the economy and we'll all end up paying. You can't do that. But my problem is the things that I talked about 2.5 years ago are now coming due. The bills are coming due. And it's not a coincidence that 85% of black people in Chicago, in those neighborhoods of home ownership, they're going up 100 to 200% on their property taxes to be able to pay for the deficit. It's just that nobody's mad about that. Of course you're not mad about it, because you wasn't mad when 10,000 immigrants were coming, illegal immigrants were coming across this country daily. You didn't pay attention to it. Biden and them told you the border was safe, and it wasn't. People was coming over with Joe Biden t-shirts. Remember them t-shirts? I remember them. I was putting pictures up here showing you they down at the border with Joe Biden t-shirts. Thank you, Joe Biden, coming across. You thought they was coming over for free. You didn't think anybody was gonna have to pay for all that motion. And we've been denied all this money. They ain't never put black folks up in no hotels and they ain't never done none of the shit that they doing right now for us. Never. Name me an example of when they took care of black folks like that. They didn't help.
They did Katrina people like that, did?
No.
They sent it to a dome in Houston somewhere, didn't it?
Well, that was different. They all got $600.
Yeah.
Don't tell me I don't know. I lived in New Orleans. Half my partners that I was cool with all moved to Houston. They lost everything they had and they got $600.
Yeah.
They had 4 nights or 5 nights in the Superdome in a shitty ass bathroom, water and backed up water and sewage infested.
Yeah.
4 or 5 nights in the Superdome.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, that's all I got, Wyatt. I ain't got too much to say, man.
Okay, bro. Yeah, I hear you, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you engaging with us today. All right, brother. Talk to you. It's about my time anyway. It's just disgusting, man, the stuff that it's just disgusting. It's just disgusting. Vernon said, let me do this. He said, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Let me go up one. Vernon, I'll get to your comment, bro. I was a little bit behind. Maurice Wagner, sorry, pardon me, bro. He said, white people had their feet on our necks for generations, and having immigrants here isn't going to remove their feet. No. If you don't need us, how what's our value? That's what I don't care what my value is to someone else. Especially somebody that may not like me. I have to create value. All right. It may not be for some of them. I have to create my own space. I have to create my own value. That's why I'm telling y'all Lincoln Heights, those are value. Those are bases. Those are places that need to be swooped up by us, maintained by us, built by us, rotate the dollar in those communities. I mean, why wouldn't why wouldn't a Lincoln Heights with, let's say, a population, I'm hypothetically speaking, why wouldn't a Lincoln Heights that has the population of 65,000 people, homeowners, property tax payers. Why wouldn't a Walmart or a Kroger want to go into an area with 65,000 or 100,000 residents? Why wouldn't they want to do that? Why wouldn't a city council at a Lincoln Heights that has now established themselves as a quality community, why wouldn't they offer a tax base, a tax incentive to a Walmart or to a Target to go into Lincoln Heights? Not only does it bring you grocery, not only does it bring you clothing, it also brings you jobs. Why wouldn't they do that? Why wouldn't they want to be in a locked in space like Lincoln Heights that has 100,000+, tax base there, and why wouldn't they want to do that? You have to incentivize. You have to build that community up where companies want to be there. It's worth it to them. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, not all companies have to be hairdressers, and they don't all have to be nightclubs, and not all of them have to be. Some of these companies that come in should be able to provide jobs for that same community. These are the conversations I feel that, and it's just me. I mean, I'm just a small little podcaster, but these are the type of conversations that I thought would make more sense to have conversations about, and that maybe certain people in the know, in the circles, would maybe pose up and bring to the forefront and say, how do we make this happen? But no, they have no intentions of doing anything like that, because that means self-sufficiency. It means that you'll have a group of people like I'm not necessarily even a Black Wall Street, but it would be on the ends of that. It would be on the verge of a Black Wall Street. Because here's what a lot of people don't understand about Black Wall Street. A lot of people have their stories and they have their understanding of it. But what you never heard about Black Wall Street, you only heard about the businesses. You never heard about the home ownership. You never heard about the community itself. The community supported those businesses. You understand? The community had enough revolving dollar to be able to circumvent that whole situation, to be able to keep everything at a stable pace. It wasn't just businesses sitting there. They had community. It was a community. It was dollars circulating through that place. And we don't talk like that. Everybody else talk like, a lot of people are doing it and not saying anything about it. I'm watching the essays come here. I ain't got no problem with no Mexicans, bro. I'm telling you. They said, if God bless me to be on Wyatt Live another 6 years, I'll be able to tell you one day, I told you. Told you what they were going to do. They already showing you. They already doing it. They're already sitting up, building little bitty small places of little grocery spots, and they already doing it. I seen a little toy store the other day. I mean, if you come to Florida, if you go there and you see Little Havana and things of that nature, you'll say to yourself, no, some of you won't. Some of us will. We'll be like, damn, why aren't we doing that? These guys have an area where they go Christmas shopping. They adopt our holidays. They go Christmas shopping, but they spend their money amongst each other. From the dinners that they're going to cook to get together for Christmas and all that, all the way to the toys, all the way to the clothing. So I just think that leadership is failing us when all we talk about, or all they want to talk about, is what's wrong all the time. Here's what you do. You don't have to take my advice on it. Just think about it. Get a friend who may be an entrepreneur or a business, maybe it's somebody that started several businesses in their life. Get a friend who's been in that space. And watch how they move if they're successful. Like it's one thing to say you've been doing this and been doing that. I'm talking about somebody that's been very consistent for 20 plus years doing what they do, and they're a grinder. Most of them don't have negative mentalities. You have to have you don't focus on problems. You just solve it. The problem is only as long as it lasts. You understand? It's like, I'll give you an example. If your building catches on fire, how long are you going to talk about that fire before you start throwing water on it? Once the water puts the fire out, now how long are you going to walk around your building and say the walls fucked up, the flow messed up, all this is messed up? How long is it before you just start saying, well, okay, this is what I have to do to rebuild? And then during the rebuild, you don't talk about how bad the fire was. You talk about what's next. You don't keep rehashing the problem of the fire. The report came back, it was an electrical problem. Okay, well, this is what I'm going to do. I need bigger voltage, whatever, to make sure that never happens again. Now I have to think about how I'm going to fix my new situation where that last shit never happens again. And then that's what I will focus on. I'll focus on that. But sitting back focusing all the time why that fire happened the first time, that's just not it. You'll never be better. And I just think that a lot of people who are in positions, I hear you. I hear you, Denise. She said, who are the leaders? You know who them leaders are. The same ones that feed the same old shit. Feed the same old stuff. I'm telling y'all now, the small marketeers, those Mexicans that are building these companies, they go through the same struggles that we go through. They have to get licensing. They have to get vendors. They have to do the same thing that we have to do. They're doing it. They're just doing it. I'm not saying they're not complaining, but I'm just watching them put them up. Put them up. And they're not advertising. Let me ask you something. Does anybody get those little mailers at their house of discounts at the grocery store, or you know the community mailers that come out and it's the community stores and come visit us, we got 20% off this week? Do you get those? They come in my house. It's like this little junk mail type stuff. Y'all know how they got these little booklets and they have all these different companies. You know what I'm saying? And they all paid in there and they give you these 20% off, 30% off discounts and things of that nature. The little small stores, grocery stores, they don't have to do that. You know why they don't have to do that? Because they sell their businesses through word of mouth. Their people already know. You understand what I'm saying? They're not going to Kroger if they don't have to go to Kroger. They're not going to Public if they don't have to go to Public. Because here's what happens. The small guy, small company, small person that opens the grocery store, they cater to their people. They know that people need this for that and that for this and this and this and that. They're not trying to solve the world's problems of hunger. They know their audience. They know that the majority of their people are going to eat this. So we got to stock up on this. But you'll never see, Brenda early said, yes, we get those door store ads. You'll never see any of those little small Mexican joints in there. Their groceries, they're not going to spend that money. What they do is they put word of mouth out with their own people. And their own people come get the groceries like clockwork. And they know their audience. They're not trying to feed black folks. They don't care. They ain't going to have nothing in there that is soul food that we eat. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you seen them in a soul food restaurant? When was the last time you seen them in a black clothing store getting their gear? When was the last time you seen them sitting in a black barbershop? Yeah, y'all can keep on thinking I be on some bullshit, but answer them questions. Because they got their own. and they ain't trying to cater to you. And they ain't looking for somebody to visit their businesses and keep them afloat. They know their audience. They know who they need to go to. They know to advertise just by telling, shit, they tell, a guy in our neighborhood down the street from us, they own one of those little, it's an Indian spot. It's a grocery store. How I know is their son works there, and he has this little car that has these, like, they have this, their nationality flag. The car is white, and they have their Indian, like, flag on the side of it. And I see it up at that grocery store, and then I see it in the community as well. And I'm like, oh, okay. I put two and two together. I never see black folks coming in and out of that grocery store. Never. Number one, unless you eat some of the stuff that they eat, which is fine. I'm just saying, unless you eat what their culture food is, you ain't going in there to get nothing that we eat, because they don't have anything that we eat. They cater to themselves. Then Twin call up here, bitching and complaining. You know how Twin do. No information, just bitching and complaining because the grocery store in Avondale took 3 years to build up. Or 2 years. And I'm like, Twin, how do you know that somebody's stopping the black-owned, grocery store from happening, bro? This could be builders issues. This could be vendor issues. This could be a whole lot of stuff. The last thing you want to do as a grocery store that's needed in the community is open before you're ready to be opened. Because what happens is, when you give a bad impression, if you don't have the proper vendors, if you don't have the proper, stuff that you need to stay in, if your EBT card shit ain't working, all of that, don't open until you're ready. And I haven't heard, unfortunately, I haven't heard anything good about the spot. The only thing that I think is good is I've seen them open the door up for younger entrepreneurs. Like my girl, she got her flower thing going on in there. And I love the fact that they don't have a problem opening the door for other people to come in and put their product in there. I love that. But when you have people going on Facebook Live, walking through the store, and the shelves are empty and they criticizing it, it's not so much that person who did it. It's the comments that I'm reading from the people that live in Avondale. Okay, you can have one hater and walk in there and go through the one section of the aisle that's just empty. Maybe that's where they had all the salt, and they ran out of salt due to the snowstorm. Okay, and they could just be on some hater shit. And maybe they were trying to deceive someone. But when you read the comments, most of the comments came from people in the community. And they would say, yeah, I walked up there the other day and there wasn't shit in there. I don't like hearing that. And I don't like when people rush those people to be open, because this is the repercussions of opening up some grocery store or opening up something. And here's what a lot of us will say. See, niggas, we can't do nothing right. We can't open up no grocery store. We can't do no business right. But yet you bitching and complaining because it's taking 2 years to open. It took them 5 years to open the grocery store over in Mason, Ohio. What's the name of that spot? Come on, sis. I know you know if you're watching. What's the name? It's in Dayton, and now they move one in Mason, Ohio. I can't think of what it is. Somebody will put it in the screen. Took them 5 years. They broke ground on that property 3 years ago. It was in the talks for 2 years. And it took them 5 years to open up a well-established, no, not Wawa. Not Wawa, that's a gas station, but this is a grocery store in Mason, Ohio. And I go there all the time. Dorothy Lane. Thank you, Carolyn Smith. Dorothy Lane. I haven't been there because I haven't been up there, but I was just drawing a blank, but it took them 5 years to put that Dorothy Lane up there. And I don't Remember when we had the conversation here and I'm like, bro, why are you thinking this is some racial shit? Why are you thinking that they not open because they're being treated a certain kind of way? That ain't always the case in business. You don't know if he having vendor problems. You don't know if the builder is having issues. You don't know, but you want to be upset about some shit. Now that they open, and here's my thing. Call me what you want to call me. Say what you want to say. But there's no doubt in my mind that they opened up prematurely. There's no doubt in my mind that they had no business opening up. And I know, well, Wyatt, you don't know nothing about their business. Yeah, I kind of do now. They've been open long enough to let me know when they opened and they didn't have EBT, I knew something was wrong with that. When the majority of your clientele that come in your store are using EBT cards, and the only way your store stay open is to generate profit, and you take away your profit machines, which are EBT card machines, that makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. There's a reason why there's a reason why most businesses fail in the first 5 years, and most of them don't see the third year. A lot of people have the courage to open a business. A lot of people have the know-how to open. But what a lot of people don't have, they don't have the knowledge of maintaining. That's just the truth. It's just the truth. You might make enough money to afford $1 million house. You may have enough credit to buy $1 million house. You may have enough money to put down on $1 million house. But what a lot of people don't understand is with all of that I just mentioned, there's one thing that comes with all of that nobody ever thinks of, and that's maintenance. So now you got $1 million house that you can afford, mortgage-wise, tax-wise. You can afford it. You put the money down. But you didn't know it was going to cost you, I don't know, another 2 G's a month just to maintain it. You didn't know that the gas and electric in that place was going to be $1,100 a month. You didn't know it was going to be $900 a month. You thought it was going to be like your 2,400 square foot home. Oh, I'll pay a couple hundred a month, $200-300 a month. I'll be fine. You didn't know that your lawn with a quarter of let's just say a quarter of an acre. You didn't know that was going to cost, $300 a month, averaging out to $300, because you don't just cut grass in $1 million homes. No, you got to do grass treatment. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You didn't know that the HOA in the community gated area, that now you got this HOA fee, and then they keep you up on your shit. You can't have no stains on the side of your building. You got to go get that shit power sprayed down. We don't play that in here. You paying $600 a month, $400 a month for HOA fees. You don't think all that. That's called maintenance, maintaining. Yeah. Yeah. Go and get you a Land Rover. Shit, I can afford it. It's only $1,100 a month. I can afford it. I just eat beans for the next 6 years on this payment. Oh, it's 7 years? They'd extend it. Oh, it's 7 years. I just eat beans and shit for the next 7 years until I pay this big thing off. I'm barely making it now, but I look good. Then you go try to fill it up with gas, and you got to act like it's 1982 all over again. Let me get $6 on pump 8. And you know $6 is going to get you down the street. It's $117 to fill that damn truck up. Because you got to use premium 91. You got to use premium gas. You didn't think of all that, maintaining it. You didn't think about the ABC service that you got to go take care of. Take it back to the dealership and get the service A. Service A is $1,100. Didn't think about that shit. The payment. You bought the payment. You didn't buy the maintenance. And this is what happens with business owners as well. I know y'all think I'm tripping. I'm making a point. See, what happens is a lot of the times that somebody has convinced you Avondale need a grocery store. Them same convincers don't even come and patronize your business. They don't even come in there. They'll hey hi, they'll cheer you all the way to your own demise. Now, I hate to sound negative about it, but like yesterday I had this conversation and I told you, anytime somebody want to have a conversation with me about us hating one another, I'll have that debate with you. I don't believe we hate one another, but I do believe we lack the support of one another that we need in business. And I'll have that debate with anyone. And how I know that my side will stand stronger than most is because I have personal stories that I can have this conversation on. I ain't got to be like hypothetically speaking. No, I can give you several different situations where we just can't work together. And it's sad. It's not that it can't. It's just to have this thing amongst each other. It's not a hate. It's a thing we got to get past. It's an insecurity. We have this thing about we got to be so successful. We got to already have made it. My daughter, I shouldn't say this. My daughter has a friend who, they've been friends since high school. And not only did they finish high school together, they ended up at the same university. They ended up at Ohio State. Now, to this day, they're still friends, but the friend of my daughter went off and moved to New York. Out of school, went to New York, into her field that she wanted to get into, blah, blah, blah. But these kids have been friends since 7th grade. You know what they used to do? Now, I gotta paint the picture the right way so you'll understand the mentalities. I'm not embarrassed to say this, but my daughter loved those little play it again type places, something closet, those places where you can go get clothes or use clothes and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Use clothes. Somebody put it in there, something playpen closet or some shit like that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Wake me up. My daughter was put on to those places by her friend. Now, how do I say this without trying to sound, I don't know how to say it, so I'm just going to say it. Fuck it. It'll come off the way it come off. My daughter's friend, Play-Doh, thank you, Donna. Play-Doh, thank you, Kathleen. Playtime closet, Play-Doh closet. One of those two. My daughter's friend, they live in Indian Hill, Cincinnati, Ohio, in the Indian Hill area. My daughter's friend, since the 7th grade, they live in Marge Schott's old house with a bowling alley in it. So they're probably doing okay in life. I used to drop my daughter off before she got her license, and I would have to go through the gate and drop her off at the front. It'd take a minute to get to the house. She'd drive around, drop her off. She would stay there for the evenings and things of that nature. They're very good friends. They're best friends, right? And I'm sure they could be in the Saks Fifth Avenue buying polo and buying all the Louis Vuitton and all that old shit. No, this little girl and my daughter go to the Play-Doh closet place all the time. They're not focused on designer clothes and trying to look like they got a bunch of money. They ain't really on that shit. These people live in a $12 million house, and they're going to places where they buy clothes. And my daughter they've been going there for 10 years now, it looked like. About 10 years. And they come home and they pull the stuff that they didn't bought out of the little used clothing place, and they lay it all out on the floor. Look, Dad, look what we got. This was $13. They had fun doing it. And they would piece these outfits together. They ain't thinking about, no, let's go down to Saks Fifth Avenue. Let's go down and get the latest Gucci shirt. Let's go down there and get this. Let's go down there. No. These kids have different Not just, I'm not talking about my child. I'm talking about some of these rich kids. They ain't on all that old bullshit. They ain't thinking of, they're just, the focus is not there. A lot of rich people don't want you to know that they're rich. New money, it makes sense. One of the things I tell my clients all the time in the professional sports world, stop spending money before you have it. A contract is not a guaranteed check. It's a forecast of how much money you can make if everything goes well. So if I get a client to get a $1.5 million fight or a $1.2 million situation, fight or whatever, you can't spend it like you got another one coming. You're only going to get half of that anyway. You're not going to see $1 million of what you signed a contract for. There's too many expenses involved here. Don't do that. I've seen guys, and this is the truth. I mean, check my background out on this. I've seen guys. I handed a guy that came through. It came through a PBC. It came through a company, a promotional company, in my hand and into his hand. High 6 figures. He ain't buy no property. He just didn't do nothing. Bought a Rolex. A Rolex. A Rolex. He went and bought a Rolex, 25, 30,000. You ain't buy no property. You don't have a garage. I just, it's an insecurity thing. It's an insecurity thing. Everybody, we're all built different. This is not a knock. I'm not trying to be funny nor be disrespectful. I'm telling you, this all comes from low self-esteem. This is also one of the reasons why it's hard to work with one another. You're missing it. You're missing it. You're missing it. Because that person can't come to me when I know I seen close to $1 million. You can't come to me and tell me you have financial troubles right now. You can't do that, because I was trying to tell you when I handed it to you. Hey, now listen, tomorrow let's meet at the office. Let's have a conversation. And it was, oh, okay, yeah, I'll be there. What time? And before I even put the time out of my mouth, he was already gone. You know what I'm saying? I was like, let's meet at 9 a.m. He was already out the door. Smoke was coming behind him. He was gone. No financial planning, no nothing. Now, he could never come to me and say, I need help. You know what's crazy? And I don't mean it just in this field that I was in. I've seen people, not just me. I'm talking about some guys that's been in this industry for a long time that I'm in. I've seen guys who was getting a fraction of the money that these guys were getting off of them, like a third. Like they, if somebody makes 100,000, okay, they have to pay probably in the realms of a third out in booking fees, management, promotional fee, things that they'll pay a third out. So you talking 30,000 going to somebody for management, whatever. I've seen people that were getting $100,000 checks run out of money before the person that was getting the 1/3. I'm gonna say this, and I shouldn't say this. God, I shouldn't say this. This might ruin me, but I'm gonna say it. This is one of the reasons why I'm okay being in the background. There's too much pressure on the person that's in the front. If y'all remember what I was talking about earlier about, I've always been a background guy. I've never wanted to be the guy out front. I've never wanted to be the person that was you was cheering for and all that. Never wanted to do that. If you look at the people in the music industry, the people in the music industry are usually the ones that never step on stage. And those are the ones that get the riches. The artists get the fame, the background guys, and I don't mean background dancers or singers. I'm talking about the people that play in the back, the people that put the things on. They generally they don't make the most money out the gate, but they make the smart money. And they're usually a little bit better with their money. That's why record companies are solid financially, and artists are always starving. It is set up purposely, just like life, to allow a few to make it, to look self-sufficient, and to advertise that to people. To advertise it. They advertise self-sufficiency. If you think about it, just look at how we are. Look at how we are right now. We all look up to those that are self-sufficient. Ain't nobody looking up to somebody. None of us. We're not sitting back saying, "Oh, I want to be like him. He got 4 bosses and shit. I want to be like him." No, most of us look up to celebrities, not saying everybody. Most of us look up to people that are displaying independence. Nobody want to be with nobody that's like dangling off the edge and that's why they try to make nonprofits seem like they're independent owned companies. They're not. If you own one, if you have one, you're just the director. There's a lot that come along with it. We'll have a conversation about that one day. And anybody that want to not necessarily challenge me, but if you ever want to have a debate with me of a business versus a nonprofit organization, I'm your guy. I'm your guy. I'll show you how if we had more businesses versus nonprofit organizations, nonprofit get the money from the city, government, and all that old shit. But you're limited on what you can do. I'll give you a perfect example, and I'll give you a head start of trying to, beat me in a debate of this. Go look at one of the largest nonprofit organizations in the city of Cincinnati. Go look at how they're structured. Can anybody think of who they are? I'll give you one guess. Think of the largest, and when I say largest, it may not be the largest company. It may be what they own. They own more than almost anybody as a nonprofit organization. They own a whole lot of I'm giving you a hint. They own a whole lot of what I've always telling you that we need, what we need. Who do you think is one of the largest nonprofit organizations in Cincinnati? Thank you, Jenny. There ain't nobody on this planet. If I would have known Jenny was sitting here, I would have said, "Hey, Jenny, tell us who the largest nonprofit organization is." They may not have the largest employees, like the largest number of employees. They may not have the largest staff. They may not have the biggest building. They have the land. They own more land than anybody in the city of Cincinnati. They own more buildings than anybody in the city of Cincinnati when it comes down to nonprofit organizations. Now, let me show you something. Go do your research on them. There's a reason why companies, see, they're not new to this. 3CDC, there's nothing new about 3CDC. I've seen 3CDCs in New Orleans. They're not called that. They're called something different. I've seen them everywhere. And they all have the same business model. They all have the same way of how they move and how they acquire property. They have the assistance of the city council, and they have the lack of participation from the city, from the people themselves. That's the combination. Keep the people dumb and stupid so they won't want the asset. I know y'all ain't ready for this. Now, somebody explain, do your homework on this. Why do you think Jenny, I love you too. Why do you think 3CDC is not only a nonprofit organization, but they're a profit company as well? Why do you think they have two sets of books? Why do you think that they move different as a profitable company? You don't see, I got an issue with it. I know a lot of y'all probably gonna be like, well, why you should do it? Nah, I ain't going nowhere because y'all ain't got my back. I'll be out there fighting these motherfuckers all by myself. How do you think it's fair that they can have a nonprofit status to acquire properties and then move their profitable companies to be able to, kind of fine line that same nonprofit situation? They use their profit companies to facilitate the nonprofit. They do co-op with one another. I mean, these are normal things that they use. And here's what they do. They get these opportunities because they get the money and the financing off the taxpayers. Wyatt, you better shut up. You better stop. And guess where? It's always on the back of the poor people. 3CDCs. Anytime somebody trying to sell you on starting a nonprofit organization, I don't want to be as cruel or as nasty to say I don't trust them. They just might be limited, or they might be a mastermind. I heard somebody tell Stefan the other day, because somebody sent me that video of Stefan had that white dude in that studio the other day about them properties. And somebody was like, tell Stefan, because y'all giving him a hard time because he can't present himself properly. And all he can say is, they taking the black people property. You got to be able to say more than that. And you got to give substance to your argument. I get it. But here's what's going on. When somebody tells Stefan to start a nonprofit organization so he can help the people, see that right there, you're conditioned. You don't need a nonprofit organization in order to help people. There ain't nothing wrong with making a profit. Matter of fact, you'll be able to diversify your portfolio by being in a profitable business. You can still offer service. You don't have to be you don't have to be a 501c3 to get grants and to have companies come in and try to help you. You don't have to be that. You don't have to be companies get tax write-offs for making donations to you. You do not have to be a nonprofit organization. Nonprofit organizations are great for those that only want to, I get it, the tax situation, I get it. But what makes you think you can use somebody else's money and do whatever you want to do with it? That's not independency. Because you get up every day and you run your company, it's a 501c3, and you ain't got nobody to answer to in there. Don't mean that you're independent. It don't mean that you're a sole proprietor. It don't mean that. You still have to account for that money. Ask all those charter schools that end up fucked up in the end. They're going through that's how they get messed up. They think they slick and start buying computers, and y'all know what Don's went through. Dude got them. 20 years, you thought he'd just start finessing their ass? Come on, man, stop. And I got some buddies that's cool with all them people. I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to tell you the real. I can't stand it when people use, here's the thing. We're going to use the poor people to make everybody, to lower the guard and make it about poor people. And then how we are, people that look like you and I. Soon as you say poor, it mean black to y'all. Not all of you. You know who I'm talking about. Soon as you say poor, you affiliated with black people. So everything dealing in poor in the city of Cincinnati, it's got to be black folks. So every time you start something that's helping poor people, you think it's helping black people. That's just like the DEI thing. They got us so brainwashed that even the real stats won't even convince you that DEI benefited someone else way more than it benefited us. Now, that's another argument for those that continue to think the way they want to think about that. But once again, I'll bring something to that argument. I remember when I had to go up against minority-owned companies. You know who my biggest competitors were when I was putting in bids as a minority status company? When my company was putting in bids, you know who was always my number one competitor, like who was always right there and beating me by a quarter? 25 cents was enough to give that person the job or give them the contract. You know who it always was? White lady. She had the same status as me, a minority-owned company. You know who she had? She had her husband, who owned a large company, do the work. She only had the status of the minority-owned company. So she can go in and get these bids. This company made a deal with the state. They had to be licensed through the state. This was a casino. So when they make these big deals with the casinos, they have to give so much business to minority-owned companies. I'm just giving you the surface of the onion, not giving you all the real information. I know a lot about it. They give so much minority-owned business to the city. But what they don't tell you is who all qualifies as a minority company. And one of my biggest competitors, it was always, whether it was here, whether it was in Cincinnati, whether it was in New Jersey at the marina, it was always white women that I had to outbid. And I can't speak for all the four jobs that I was competing against in those other cities. It wasn't that. It was the one I know for sure was the one in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. And I know for a fact that she was just the paperwork and her husband was the business. They had a large company that was doing this stuff. He could have killed me on a bid. He would have beat me in a bid, no, hands down. His company was a hell of a lot larger than mine at that time. But he sent his wife in to be able to get the minority status against me. And I'm going to tell you something. Person's been removed long enough where I feel comfortable. And I think y'all sisters, I think everybody would want to hear this. This is us looking out for us. If it wasn't for a black buyer in this particular business who put me on to what the bids were, I would have never known. They would have outbidded me on everything. This sister looked out for me. She looked out for me. And she said, they got you by a quarter. They got you by 15 cents. Just bring it down a little bit. If it wasn't for that, that white lady would have outbidded me every time. Every stroke, she would have outdone me every time. Because there's no doubt in my mind that she had somebody on the inside saying, well, you know, the Wyatt company, they came in at this and they're a quarter lower than you. There's no doubt in my mind. And there's no doubt in my mind that the other three people that were bidding against me as minority status companies, there's no doubt in my mind that they probably had somebody in New Jersey that was doing that for them. There's no doubt in my mind. Because I can't lose all these bids And I'm not privileged to see what I can't even counter. Once I turn the paperwork in and I say, okay, this job, it's going to be $27,000. They may come in at 26,000 and I didn't know. I can't even, they won't even give me an opportunity to say, okay, I'll do it for 25 and a half. You get your bid in and that's where it stays. It stay there. They don't give you an opportunity to rebid it. So if anybody ever wants to have a conversation with me about how 3CDC and these companies like that maneuver and how they move and they use us and how it's always about the poor people and affordable housing and shit. And I'm not mad at 3CDC. I was really convinced years ago, right here on this platform. I told everybody here, don't be mad at them. Let's take advantage of what they're doing. I'm not in a position to want to buy an $800,000, $900,000 building in downtown Cincinnati. I don't want to put $1 million into a building, buy it for $1 or buy it for, the tax bill. I don't want to buy it for the 27,000 and then have to put 700 into it to build it up to be ready. No, I don't want to do that. So what did I tell everybody here to do? I said, okay, look, as soon as they fix it up with their money, let's go in it has the lease sign on it. Let's go in, let's start our businesses, let's build our book of business, and then we'll find somewhere to move. We'll find our own. Once we get rolling, now we got a book of business. Now we can move somewhere and call it our own. Now buy building, buy the land, buy the building, bring our customers with us. I said, okay, they have an advantage, but let's use that advantage that they have to our advantage. How do we take advantage of an advantage? There's only one person I've seen do it. That's only because I know him. A lot of y'all say, y'all know him. I'm not going to speak nobody's business, but one of the smartest people in the city of Cincinnati has been Lando. That's a 3CDC property. I remember when they were doing the build out, I seen the 3CDC signs all over the place, the hats, the build out. I seen it all. I said to myself, my God, why aren't all of us doing this type of shit? No, you got more people that's bitching about what 3CDC is doing, but not capitalizing on what they're doing. Yeah, I got to remember this. You remember me talking about this years before that company was even built, before he opened up his store, his spot. You got to remember that I had this conversation a couple years beforehand. Vernon said downtown Cincinnati was dead. I'm certainly not a cheerleader for 3CDC, but downtown needed revelation. Who was going to do it? I agree. 3CDC ain't doing nothing that we can't do, but are we willing to do it? I'm with you, Vernon. But my thing is, if 3CDC is going to turn the properties around, we can't sit back and bitch and complain. How do we capitalize on what they've done? I mean, look, people do this all the time in business. The best business person in the world is someone that uses someone else's money. Never use your own money. So why would I use $1 million of my money to go buy a building downtown Cincinnati? And I mean $1 million being that I'm going to have $1 million into it. I might only pay $20,000 for the building, but the upgrade, build out on it is going to cost me $900,000 to $800,000. Why would I sink $1 million into a building when I can use somebody else's money, start the same business and do what I want to do out of it? Why would I use $1 million? I can make $1 million out of there. Why would I want to spend $1 million? By the time I make $1 million, now it's time to go buy a $40,000 plot of land. Put a $120,000 building on it and have the same building build out for a third of what I would have paid for a rehab building. It only makes sense, bro. We just got to start thinking that way. Nobody can dispute what I'm saying. This is how the real world works. This is what we don't go through. There's only one brother in the city of Cincinnati that's moving in this type of motion, And I wish I could give him some love right now, but I don't talk about these guys unless I had conversations with them about me mentioning them. But y'all know the construction brother. Y'all know him, and he's a really good dude. We're buddies. Y'all know him. There's some that are making these type of moves and understand the process. They understand how these things happen. They understand, how important it is to move a certain way. And they're doing it. But who I hear the most out of are the ones that ain't doing shit. It's the ones that do the least. It's the ones that have the most to say are always the ones that's doing the least amount of work, making the difference. It's the ones that's always complaining on the waves of the ocean and don't have a boat in the water. They just bitching and complaining because the waves are high. The waves going to the east, the waves going to the west. Man, it's going to be bad out there on that cruise ship. Man, they going to be doing this wrong. Man, they doing that wrong. Man, oh man, oh man. Bitching, bitching, bitching. Bitching, 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 some more and some more and some more. And don't even have a boat in the water. Or some that's been talking the same shit for 20 years. Listen, there is nothing on this planet that I would be talking about negatively, that I would have I ain't had a 20-year problem with nothing in my life. Think about that. Let's do a survey real fast before I break up out of here. Anybody ever had a 20-year problem? Had a problem? Like, say for instance, you walked in your house or your apartment and the first step is chipped. And you at nighttime could trip over it and fall. And it's been that way for 20 years. You still have that problem 20 years? For 20 years? Anybody been in a relationship for 20 years? And it's a problem related, like y'all don't get along, y'all don't like each other, y'all just can't stand this motherfucker. Anybody ever been in a relationship for 20 years and don't like it? What's wrong with you? Fix the step. Fix the relationship or get out of the relationship. Who stays in anything bitching and complaining for 20 or 30 years? Who does that? Somebody that want to be a bitcher and a complainer. Who, I use this example all the time. It's the truth. I got somebody that's very dear to me that plays the lottery. And I want her to win as much money as she possibly can, but I don't want to be around when she get the ticket. If she play that Powerball and win $100 million off of $1 or $3, whatever. Pardon me. I don't want to be around. Because she's going to be one of the most ungrateful winners you ever see in your life. You want to know what an ungrateful winner is? That is a person that'll spend $3 on a lottery ticket, win $180 million, and be mad that they had to give up $90 million in taxes, and all they got off of their $3 investment of playing the lottery. I got a punk ass $90 million. I won 170. How I'm only gonna get 90 million? That's a ain't never gonna be happy ass person. See what I'm saying? That's a person that's never going to be happy. You done won $90 million after taxes and the buyouts, and now you just good. And you bitching because they took $80 million from you. You mad? Oh, yeah. We ain't got nothing to talk about. Never in life. I don't want to be around that person. If they ever hit the lottery, I don't want to be around them. I don't want to be around nobody like that. And y'all know I ain't tripping. Y'all know it's people like that. Everybody in here knows somebody that's super negative about the best shit in the world can happen to them. Here's how you know a negative person without even hearing anything from them. You don't have to know nothing about them. All you got to do is be in the office, be at the house, be somewhere. And when they walk in the room, their response without knowing anything, without looking at anybody, the first thing they say is, what's wrong? That's a negative person. That's a negative person. Y'all keep those people. I don't want them around me. I don't want them around me. That negative shit's for somebody else. I don't want anybody that can't enjoy. Oh no, Sierra. Is it that bad? It's time for me to go. Sierra called me out. She said, there's more cursing in this segment in Tyler Perry's new movie. Wyatt is starting to sound like Twin Joiner. I got to go on that note. Let me tell y'all why. Because my criticism of that new Tyler Perry movie to my wife, we watched it. It was probably one of the best Tyler Perry movies that I've ever seen. Okay, honestly, it was funny. I have to admit, I'm not a big Tyler Perry fan, but this one was funny. This one was funny. It was funny in a lot of different kind of ways. It was educational. I love the message that was sent, but it was funny. And it wasn't just because, what's his name? Joe, the dad. It wasn't just because of him. He was a big part of the funny, but you know, I thought it was a different, you know, it was a little different for Tyler Perry for me. And I did criticize that Joe was making some unnecessary, I think it's his name, Joe. The dad was making a lot of different, he was making his cussing, the references were just not necessary. He was saying a lot of bad words when it wasn't really necessary. But I think they were making a point because he said he only went to the, 7th grade or something like that. So he was just being who he was. He was a pimp and all that old stuff. And I don't think a lot of them have the best, you know, they don't express themselves, you know, they don't have a lot of diplomacy, if you want to call it. They don't. They just say what they want to say. Hey, listen, man, I enjoyed today. Peace and love to everybody, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow, same place, same time. If anything changes, I'll put a note up. I'll let you guys know. Thanks for coming in today a little bit late. I tried to stay a little bit later because I was really late today. Peace and love to everybody, man. Get out here and enjoy yourself. Get around people that think like you and watch how your life change. Peace and love to you all.
I'm going back to Cali. I don't think so. I'm going back to Cali. I'm going back to Cali. I don't think so. Going back to Cali, styling, profiling, dialing and smiling, while in the sun. The top is down on the black Corvette, and his fly cars are sitting on beans. Naughty steering wheel, plushed out, gold leaf phantom top, and 3 girls waiting. The chrome is shining, passing all the cars on the way. Moving up the wind, back wheel spin, popping a cassette and push play. I'm going back to Cali. Yeah, y'all, I don't think so. I'm going back to Cali. I'm going back to Cali. I'm going back to Cali, shaking them, baking them, taking them to spots they never before hung. I know a place on Sunset, it's a trip where the AC's cold, but the girl still stripped. The record skipped, but this girl kept dancing, prancing, grinding, grinning, romancing. I asked her to Cali, Cali, Cali. Cali, man, I don't think so. Cali, Cali, Cali. I'm going back to Cali, rising, surprising, advising, realizing she's sizing me up. Her bikini small, heels tall. She said she liked the ocean. She showed me a beach, gave me a peach, and pulled out the suntan lotion. Now, I was fast, but this girl was faster. She was looking for a real good time. I said, close your eyes, I got a surprise, and I ran away with a bottle of wine.